They can't. Now they can. Woo! So I'm going to play it really loud on my phone. Now they can. Alright, what are we still trying to figure out? Peyton, please don't play with that. I don't have the Discord. I have to do this? Let me see. I don't have the Discord. I have to do this. Okay. Oh no, that's repeating that. That's not good. Wait, so what is desktop audio? Voice meter input VA. Audio. Please stop doing that. Ring, yes. Not sure what the stream can hear and can't hear. Why I wanted to play test. That's what we're doing, yeah. Yeah. Why I wanted to. That's what we're doing, yeah. You gotta stop. You have to stop playing with that. Play with Moana. Here. Stop. There you go. The fly. Can somebody talk a little bit in Discord?
Hi, it's me. My name's Dan. I'm handsome. And everyone agrees that that is true.
Huh. If I take the base armor, the one that you said to start with,
Uh-huh.
I have a higher AC if I just go without clothes.
Does Barbarian get a natural AC bonus?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dex plus con.
Dex plus con. That's an interesting choice. Cool. Yeah, just do that. The Barbarians may very well be meant to be unarmored. I didn't know that was one of the changes, but
Yeah.
it's totally fair.
Now, I mean, if I were to go to chain shirt, I break even.
Yeah.
And then higher just gets better. But
Yeah, that makes sense. Unarmored makes sense.
that'll.
Okay. Is everybody more or less good, or are you still fucking with shit, frats?
I'm pretty good, I think.
Okay. Kurt?
Ready and waiting.
Cool. Bill?
Good.
Cool. All right. So we can do a couple things. We can
I
do
think
a
kind
brief
of. Yeah, I was gonna say like a little mini podcast intro. Like say hi to everybody. Say hi. Introduce themselves real quick.
Oh, sure. That but I meant in terms of how you guys want this to go. Or should we just do that now? I guess.
Oh, yeah. Let's do the podcast thing first, real quick, and then
Sure.
you can DM what you want out of our intro and stuff.
That makes sense. All right. Well, my name's Dan. I'm the GM for this campaign, and it's called Heliotrope Cathedral, and it is about a group of people who are going to die.
Bum bum bum. Wait,
Ba-da!
wait. I can do the Price is Right noise.
Oh, perfect.
It's
Not hearing it.
oh no, not for you guys. I can do it
Oh,
in the stream.
Okay, on the stream. Great. Okay.
I can do it for us. Bum bum ba-dum.
There you
go.
Wow.
All right. Kurt.
I am Kurt. I am going to be playing Dabros, the rogue. I am a all-around gamer and aspiring voice actor slash podcaster. Maybe in the future, we'll see what.
I feel like you cut out there.
You did.
Where did I cut out?
We'll see.
Right
We'll
around
see
the
what
words,
happens.
where it happens, which I feel like we.
Oh no, that was all
Extrapolate.
I said.
Okay. All right, frats, lay it down.
Hey everybody. My name is Frats. You guys follow my stream and Twitter and what have you, and watch me play games and stuff. And D&D is a fun little thing that I picked up not too long ago with my friend Dan here. So I'm going to be playing a half elf bard by the name of Jonas. And we wanted to throw a little mini campaign here at the stream, get some different content going, and then kind of build it so it's some short sessions so people can digest it a little bit differently than the typical 8 to 10 hour crazy marathon streams that people put together on Twitch.
Do people actually do like 8 to 10 hour fucking D&D streams?
I mean, certainly if it's good content, sure, but
I've never seen that before.
Oh! I'm sorry. You're asking if they exist.
Yeah.
I think, but it's just like Harmon Quest, man. Like I'm sure they tape for an entire day, and then
That's true.
And then they put together like a cool 30-minute or 45-minute episode, And I would love to be able to do something like that with this. Like, we could put together like the greatest hits of the of a clip of the 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or podcast wise. So anyway, that I've been playing games for forever, and I've been streaming for a little bit. And if anybody's tuning in right now, you guys know what I'm all about. So you'll hear some dad jokes.
Fantastic.
And Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill. I'll be playing Verk. You're just the typical Hulk smash, big, dumb, stupid barbarian. Let's see what kind of stuff I can break.
All right. So we have a couple options as far as I can see for today, which is, I think I know which ways you guys are going to lean, which is that we kind of play a short, not inconsequential, but more of a session 0 than a session 1 to familiarize ourselves, especially me, honestly, with the rules, because I've never played 5e. I've read the rule book over the past couple days. I've read a bunch of stuff on the wiki to try to figure out what's different about 5e compared to what I'm used to. Or we can jump in as like dun dun dun, session 1 proper, chapter 1. This is serious time. I'm partial to option A, which is to kind of do a light, relatively less consequential session to make sure we all know the rules and how they work. Especially for you too, Frats, because you and I both have never played 5th, right? You've never played it?
Nope.
Right. So we're going to have some preconceptions that are going to be not true.
Yeah.
Is everyone cool with that?
Yes, I like option A.
Okay.
Session 0 sounds good to me.
Okay. And I think going forward, we're going to try to work on some kind of music option, Frats, right?
Yeah.
Not for this session, but we're going to have something. I like to soundtrack my campaigns when I can. And we'll get that going for session 1 proper. So, that being said, you are a group of ex-cons. You broke out of a prison, and judging by your backstories, I was planning on concocting a scenario wherein you had broken out of different prisons, but there's every reason to believe that all 3 of you were in the same facility. Is everyone okay with that presumption?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Great.
Would it be, if you don't mind me asking, because of some of the stuff that you've given us, and I'm sure you're going to go over, would it be a centralized prison solution, or would it be a prison that makes sense for the world that we all came out of?
What do you mean by a centralized prison? Is in like a prison in the middle of the multiverse?
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking that it was literally on the. You guys all came from the same base world.
Okay.
Everyone's backstories, like there was no data in there that really conflicted. No one was like, and then my master pulled out a gun. Everyone pretty much can fit into sort of generic fantasy world, so we're going to keep it that way.
Okay.
I don't have much intent of going too deep into the history of whatever that world might be, but I will say that we're all incarcerated in the same prison. And if I can go over everybody's crimes real quick, I believe, actually, if you guys want to tell me one more time, what was everybody's crime? What landed you in this more or less maximum security, hard and heavy prison?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go last.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna.
right,
I'm gonna go last.
All right, yes, I'll go, Kurt.
Yeah. Basically, Dabros was involved in a heist gone wrong where a individual, namely his father, in the inside of his gang, actually turned on the gang and basically gave them up to try and start a new life with his estranged son Davros and Davros's mother. Davros remained loyal to his gang, which resulted in him being apprehended and thrown in jail.
And what was he trying to steal?
Was trying to steal a magic item that was created. They didn't really know what it was about. It was an kind of like a filigree item orb that was created from what did I have for the church? The
Quiet,
Grand Cathedral of Quiet, the Untouched. And it was being delivered to the local king of the city that they were in. and they wanted to intercept it so he could deliver it back to his gang leader, Cassius, um, as Cassius' kind of send off as far as his ownership of the gang.
All right. Bill.
So Burke, being the half orc outcast orphan that they typically are, was picked up by a illegal pit fighting ring boss. And so that's where he developed his skills. Later, um, his boss got in an argument with someone else, and he ended up telling me to go kill that person. So I ended up murdering them and got caught. Uh, so ended up in jail as a result of that.
Okay. And friends.
Yeah, mine's not that bad. It's Jonas is the son of the princess to an heir of a very large elven royal family. He is an illegitimate half elf, so he was looked down upon by both the people that didn't have a silver spoon born to them and the people in his royal family that didn't approve of the multi-raced kid. So events that I think we will describe as the sessions unfold here kind of led him to a mental place where he was trying to gain control of his life and really the life of others. And he decided to go on the path that he was sort of misled to, you'll find out. But he went on a path to ascend to godhood. So, in that ascension to godhood, the manual was very thick and hard to interpret. So, he thought he was supposed to collect followers and sacrifice them in order to prove their belief in him, so that he could obtain this holy power. And so he collected 73 unwitting souls, willing souls, excuse me, and had them drink the Kool-Aid, quite literally. And in the few moments that passed before the authorities showed up, the gravity of the situation, the gravity of the fact that he didn't ascend, sort of definitely humbled him. And he tried to drink what was left of the Kool-Aid, but either found nothing there or the cops showed up too quickly. But either way, he is still alive with 73 bodies on his hands.
Yeah, and no appreciable divine power to show for it.
Correct.
Which is the real tragedy here, if we're being honest.
Oh, if he ascended to godhood, he could have saved their souls.
Right, sure, absolutely. They'd
Yeah.
be his acolytes forever.
Yep.
All right, so you were all imprisoned in the same facility. The name of this facility was Fairweather 1. Fairweather 1 was not a good place. It was a place for the murderers, rapists, pirates, tax evaders, the people that were either basically Fairweather 1 was not a place you ever got out of. You were in there for life, or until they got around to killing you. For whatever reason, if you were there and were not immediately sent to death row, is because there was some advantage to keeping you alive or information they needed from you. So, routinely, Jonas, while in Fairweather 1, you were pulled aside and questioned as to your objective, B, where you got the information from to plan such an objective, what your plans were with your ascent to godhood. When you were pulled aside for these questions, let's say it was over the course of maybe a couple weeks, how did you respond in general?
I think at the beginning I was very guarded and defensive. This was all new to me. I was born to a royal family. Even though there was resentment towards my existence, I still got everything I ever asked for, etc. But I think over time I started to collect a kind of sarcastic what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe disdain, because like it became like I could tell it became like a psychological test. Like it became a game of could I prove to them I wasn't keeping information and they'd leave me alone, or
Yeah.
were my answers truly not good enough once I finally gave them to them, and were they trying to break me, in terms of mental state?
Um, at one point, they brought in a specialist. The way that I play anyone with magical ability is, even without casting detect magic, which gives you a lot of specific information, you can more or less tell if somebody is an adept. This can be fooled, of course. Someone could just wear a lot of magic items and kind of like throw off your sixth sense, as it were. But for mundane purposes, day to day, you can kind of tell if someone is an acolyte or versed in the ways of magic. This specialist presented himself, as far as you could tell, as a powerful sorcerer. His name was Brightholm, and he was brought in on actually the very last visit you had before you broke out / escaped from prison. And he asked you a number of the same questions you had already been asked thus far. So by this point in the interrogation, you're saying you're more or less just giving it to them straight, right? You're sarcastic, but you're almost bragging about like what you did
Yeah,
and how you learned it.
yeah. That's I think the attitude I'm going for. Yeah.
Okay, so you lay it onto this guy because this guy is probably going to know, especially where you're coming from. I'd like you to now roll me a. Actually, look up the 5e skills to see if there's something.
I have them all in front of me.
Oh,
What are you
fantastic.
trying to...
I want to know if these guys also do perception as sense. Is there a sense motive, or is that rolled into perception?
Insight.
Insight is its own thing.
Yes, insight is his own skill.
Okay. First, I'd like you to roll me an insight.
Excuse me. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Is that gonna? Did I do it right?
18. Wow. Excellent.
Cool beans.
Cool beans, you did it.
Too bad the DC was 70.
Yeah. So one thing about 5e that I'm learning is that DCs are a lot. The numbers are crunched a lot. They're much smaller. So no, you pass with flying colors.
Okay.
As you're talking to him, you realize that he is my. Is there interference on my mic? I feel like there is.
No, there's a little bit of a scratchy noise. Maybe that's your beard.
Okay.
Honestly.
It is my beard. But I'm hearing something scratching, and I was like, "That okay." I gotta get the
Yeah, I have the
Yeti up in here.
little microphone sock.
Yeah. Okay.
So my insight passed.
Sorry, your insight passed. You are certain as you're talking to him that he's not really showing much emotion. He's writing down a lot of what you're saying. He knows exactly what you're talking about. He recognizes this, and you get just a little bit of glances at his notes, which are in a language you don't read, but some of the magical notations and a little bit of you see some numbers here and there you recognize. This guy is familiar with the very specific kind of ritual you tried, which, as far as you knew, was an obscure local folk ritual you had kind of cobbled together from a variety of sources. He seems to know exactly what it was. Do you do anything with this information during that one interrogation?
Yeah, sure. I think I would coyly like put up my eyebrow and be like, "So, you must know the gypsy."
No matter what you do or say, absolutely no response from him. Almost as if he's not even hearing you when you're talking about anything other than the ritual. Once he's done writing everything down, he gets up without looking at you, walks out of the room, and the guards leave. Yep. Verk. You also are, when you're brought in there for murder, you're pretty much expecting you've known enough people who come into Fairweather 1 that don't come back out short of a handsome bribe to the warden.
Mhm.
Are you expecting a bribe from your boss?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not super worried then about your stay here.
It's longer than I anticipated.
Okay.
Kind of like a childish ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, Dad's gonna come pick me up.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
a thought.
also, I imagine you're not super worried because you're a what's your actual strength and con? Can I see that actually? Let's see. I can. Okay.
I was gonna say, should be able to pull my sheet up.
17 and 16. Yeah. So you're a big dude too.
Yes.
You're not I imagine you're not just like tough and wiry. You are also you're half orc. So you are broad. You're big.
Yes.
No one really fucks with you in here. No one gives you a hard time. Anyone who's also heard of your gang on the outside steers well clear of you. So it's really not that bad a time. You're just kind of waiting until you're bribed out, which is taking a little longer than maybe. At one point, you are also pulled into an interrogation room. There is a couple guards and a sub-warden. He looks young and a little bit scared as he enters the room, and he begins to ask you about the details of the murder. How do you respond? Do you tell him the truth? Do you obfuscate? Do you say anything?
He gets kind of cocky with just trying to think how to describe it. Just he's almost bolstering of how easy it was to kill him. Just like swatting a fly almost. Just I went to punch him and his face caved in. He's just laughing about it and kind of just reflecting like he would just be boasting to his friends back home.
Yeah, over like a beer or something.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls aside one of the other guards and whispers to them, and they whisper something back. He nods and he leaves. A couple days later, you're called back into another interrogation. He asks you about a different murder. I would like you to roll me an intelligence check, please. I do not expect this number to be super high, but
Yeah, that's unfair.
Yeah.
That's the save right next to intelligence, correct?
Yeah, I guess it would be called a save, yeah.
The skill. Let's see. Unskilled intelligence check?
Yeah.
They do have those too.
What unskilled as in
I think it's usually just a
basically I want you to just roll just roll and we're just adding your int. We're not adding
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the unskilled
Oh,
check.
you gotta
You need to change it so you're only rolling 1d20.
Oh, yep. Settings. Is there a way to do like a mass change for that?
Yes.
Yeah, the gear at the top right.
On your character sheet, very, very top right, gear. And then change
okay.
it to roll 1d20. Then save
Got it.
And you might have to restart it.
And make sure all the individual ones are set to the default, and then you're good.
Okay, cool.
Out of character real quick, this baking potato is amazing.
Is it baked potato or bacon potato?
But both?
Ooh, okay.
From our conversation earlier, did you just want to stick with that first number?
Yeah.
Either way, it's probably not going to be good.
That's fine. 10. That name doesn't really ring a bell. He talks about another murder. You honestly don't really know anything about it.
Yeah.
So do you deny? How do you respond when he asks you, what do you know about this?
Just I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I just fight in a pit. I do what boss tells me.
He rolls the highest insight check he can. It seems you're telling the truth. Because you are. He looks at you, kind of squints his eyes, whispers something to one of the guards, leaves. This happens 3 or 4 times. Every time it's a different murder. Roll me 2 more int checks. Cool. Okay, you've never heard of either of these either. You genuinely have no idea what they're talking about.
I think at one point he
Um,
forgot who he himself was.
Yeah, at one point you're not sure what's going on. Actually, let's
Where
go.
am
That
I?
that that 2 int is because that day you had one of the to curry your favor and favor with your gang. One of the other prison inmates had given you some of his like house brewed toilet wine, and it is like
Nice.
paint thinner, and you are just fucking absolutely drunk. You when asked about this murder, you just burp in the guard's face, and he almost throws up, and they leave. But over the course of all of this, you genuinely deny all knowledge, truthfully, of these murders. Every time
Yep.
they get a little more, they act more. They're acting incredibly weird, very suspicious, very creepy, and scared of you. Now you're a pretty scary dude, but usually when you're hitting somebody, not when you're sitting there answering honest questions about things you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Every time they leave more afraid of you. Yeah. Davros,
Yeah.
you are left alone for quite a while. No one comes to visit you. You're held in solitary, by the way. There's no indication you're being pulled aside for questioning. No one's come to inform you that you're going to get a last meal because you're about to be executed. Nothing. Almost as if they forgot about you. Until one day, when the doors open and you are pulled upstairs for interrogation.
Oh, about time.
When you are pulled into this room, you walk past hordes of prisoners, some of whom recognize you. Your guild is pretty well known in this city.
I'll snidely nod and make gestures to the ones that know about me that are on the opposite side.
You're kind of hyping up your crew, basically, right?
Right.
Yeah. In fact, at one point, maybe you see Verk heading the opposite direction, having just returned from interrogation. Do you know if you're involved in crime at all? I imagine your 2 crews would know each other.
Probably, yes.
This is actually just coming to me now, but let's play on that a little bit. So, Verk, you're coming from a crime ring that specializes in pit fighting, and I'm assuming gambling, things like that. And
Yep.
Davros, you're coming from a high, like elite thieves guild.
Yes.
What is your opinion of each other, just from reputation of each other's crew?
Davros would, as well as he could, obviously being guided, make a wide berth around them as typically tries to avoid direct confrontation.
So you know that the reputation of his crew, and you just do not fuck with them.
Not in a direct, overt manner. No.
Got it. Okay. You would never pick a straight fight with these people.
Exactly.
Verk, what about you?
He's indifferent. He's more self-focused, just unaware. He just when's the next fight? Point me in the direction to smash something.
Okay, so you don't give a shit about his crew.
No.
The Iron Scythe, as I recall.
Correct.
Does your crew have a name, Verk? Did we ever?
We never came up with him.
Okay. Let's call them the Pit Lords, which is a name of an extremely powerful devil, but also
Chewik, what's up, man?
the name of a bunch of people that run pit fights. So the Pit Lords.
We're playing some D&D and setting it up. How's it going?
Verk, you just don't give a shit about the Iron Scythe. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, so anyway, Davros, you head over to interrogation, at which point you have a seat, and a nondescript woman enters the room, dressed not in prison garb or prison warden attire. She's dressed casually, like a civilian. She has a parchment and lays it on the table. She pulls out of the folds of her cloak a small pouch, pulls out a bottle of ink, pulls a stopper, pulls out a quill, dips it, begins to write a couple sentences. What languages do you speak?
Undercommon, Common, and Elvish.
Okay, you do not understand this language that she's writing. She writes for annoying amount of time in silence. Do you break the silence?
No.
Eventually, she stops, looks up at you, smiles, and she begins to ask you about the details of your job. Starting with very simply, did you attempt to steal the Orb of Quiet the Untouched?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. And by the way, normally I'm all into like full-fledged roleplay scenes, but for these I'm going to be skipping pretty fast. So don't take that as a any
Okay. Okay. I will
so
normal voice it.
no, that actually wasn't in response to that. I was just saying like in general. So she starts going down the list of all the questions. Do you deny basically everything? She goes down, who were your accomplices, how'd you get in, blah 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 blah.
Play stupid, deny. Yes.
Okay.
Not given any.
Okay. So she seems like she's expecting this. As you answer, she's kind of nodding and she writes down what you pick up as your responses. They're pretty much all just denial. At the end, she looks as if she's about to pack up. The last question was something like, did you have a plan to steal anything else, maybe? And of course, you denied all knowledge of the whole situation. She nods, she begins to pack up, and then she stops as if she just recalled something and said, "Oh, what did the orb say to you?"
What orb?
She nods, smiles, packs up her uh, scribe supplies, and leaves.
D&D
You
is
are
a lot of
taken
fun,
down
man.
to your
It's
cell
a
and put back
tabletop
in the
game,
cell.
so it's all about
Later
people describing
that
stuff
day, for
and,
all of you,
and a narrative, a story that you're telling.
you begin to hear a commotion. Commotion gets louder and louder from outside your cell until you're pretty sure there is a good old-fashioned prison riot. This happens occasionally in Fairweather 1. Most of the time, the common areas are closed down and they pump in a bunch of magical sleep gas, or they send in a bunch of bruisers enhanced with the finest gear a wizard could enchant and just beat the shit out of everybody. Sometimes they summon golems. It's something of an adventure to see how each new riot will be. They like to have fun here at Fairweather. This time you don't hear the alarm. You don't hear the sound of any guards, of any golems. You don't hear the sounds of anybody cursing as the gas is pumped through the ventilation. You just hear the sounds of the commotion rise louder and louder, and then you hear an explosion. A sound none of you may ever have actually heard. Most times you'll see a spellcaster, they'll toss perhaps a fireball, but something that actually blows up like gunpowder, which doesn't seem like it's been invented in your. I don't think you've ever heard. It shakes the foundations of the prison like 100 lightning bolts at the same time. You begin to hear screams of panic, not just of rioting prisoners, but of scared prisoners. The prison shakes, trembles, and soon enough, either the wall is broken from your cell, the gate flies open, or a rock from one of the opposite walls hurtles through and breaks your cell open, narrowly missing you. Either way, all three of you find yourselves free of your cells, free to look around, and you see the prison in absolute chaos. There is fire everywhere, explosions in the distance, everyone is screaming, guards, inmates alike. Everyone is terrified. No one seems to know what is happening. What do you do?
I immediately start heading towards where the majority of the explosions start coming from and start looking to see if any walls are.
Okay. Verk?
This is all three of us, right?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to get out of my cell if I just about died from a rock going through it.
Mhm.
Do I see that it's open over toward the explosion, or was it just kind of like around the corner?
You can't see too far in any direction. There's so much smoke and fire and
Okay.
well, let's try this again.
This-
Roll me an int check to see if you remember where the exit to the prison. This poor guy.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh shit. Okay, so the one fucking thing you know is where the exit is.
so
That's great.
I'm gonna save my own butt,
Yeah.
and I am just going to full speed run in that direction.
There's some people in your way. They are immediately tossed aside. There's nothing that can really stop you with 16 strength and con while running at full speed. Do barbs get fast movement in this game?
I'm not sure
At
if
a
it's
certain level, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Either way, you knock pretty much everybody aside. Bits of fire and rubble are tossed in the air, and you more or less ignore them. Jonas.
1 second.
At level 5, to answer your
Oh, okay.
I would like to think. He steps forward out of his cell, almost with an air of like he knew this was going to happen. Obviously, has no idea.
Right.
But like hands in his pockets, like strolling through the fire and ash and smoke and chaos. Actually, go ahead.
I was gonna say fake it till you make it, right?
Right. But actually, I do have a question. So, would any of the weird interrogations, the person that was different than all the other interrogations and stuff, would that have triggered anything in a timeline? Like, would that have happened the day before this big event, and then we would be tying this together?
Correct. That was the last thing that happened before this event.
Was these weird interrogations, right? Okay. So, with that connection in mind, he's just thinking like something's afoot here. The gypsy's assistant came to interrogate me and find out how I did trying to become a god, and obviously she is not pleased that I am locked up here.
Oh yeah.
So there's an arrogance, like it's either my royal family finally came to rescue me, literally just to save bloodline.
Oh wow. So you literally think that this is happening because of you?
Yeah.
You're being broken.
Oh, self-centered. Absolutely. I tried to become a god, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So yeah, this is this. Yeah, and like a scene out of a movie. Like my hands are in my pocket, my jacket is like behind my hands and like coiffed, and I am strolling through. Now, I mean, you're more than welcome to make me roll dexterity to make sure I don't get hit by something.
No.
but yeah,
there's a certain like circumstances through no real supernatural means, just by sheer luck, tend to orient themselves. You're a lucky guy, and you've interpreted that as divine favor. And so like nothing hits you, no one tries to stop you, all of which become omens that like truly you are some special.
Obviously.
Either way, you all make it to the entrance of the prison. There is a bunch of different prisoners around, and there's fights breaking out, mostly as people try to get out of the way of other people. And you look out and see in the distance, the city is on fire. Like, the whole city. None of you have ever seen anything like this. It is as if when you had heard tales of an old wars of the Magi and dragons being summoned to burn entire towns alive. It looks like that. The entire city is aflame. Explosions in the distance, rocking the very foundations of the earth. You see blue fire in the sky, lightning raining down, what looks like a meteor shower in the distance. It is, for all intents and purposes, the apocalypse. How do you react to that?
Would Jonas know what blue fire is? Like, or would any of us know? Like, is that a magical type of fire, or?
It certainly isn't a kind of fire that most of the times fire doesn't exist in the sky at all, so that's pretty magical. And yeah, blue fire is weird, so it's a safe bet that this is something supernatural.
What's
And
going on?
if there's a way out, I'm still immediately going to try and I guess I would try to head towards the outskirts of the city. But if we're still stuck in there, I would be looking for a way out of the prison itself. Like,
Oh yeah, you can like clamber over the rubble and get out.
Is
That's
the
not hard.
yeah,
But
is
you
the
I'm not even
you
gonna
don't head
think
towards your
twice about
hideout
it.
because,
Yep.
or do you? Because it is clearly like in the middle of. You can see more or less where it is certainly on.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna actually go away from the city. I'm not gonna go towards the destruction.
Okay. What about you, Verk?
What's the general consensus of what people around me are doing?
Blind panic, screaming, calling. Upon reaching the entrance, those people that have made it here and see the destruction, most people are finding God. They're praying last-minute conversions because they're certain the world is ending. This looks just like an apocalypse. The sky is black, like it is. It is the end times.
Do I see? Oh, I don't know his character's name.
Davros?
Davros?
Yes. Do I see him
Um,
leaving?
go ahead and why doesn't actually everybody roll me perception checks?
Because we don't want to. It's the way you said it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Perception. Perception. Yes.
Are the d20s rolling really weird for you guys? Like the 3D aspect is like super jittery?
I turned that off.
I don't
Yeah.
have it on.
That's
me. How do I turn it off?
no. I also have it. And it
No,
doesn't
yeah,
work.
it's a personal setting. Top right,
If you
my
go to the
settings,
settings
and
by
if
the
there's
chat
an
window.
enable 3D dice.
It's just not super optimized, I think, because like I'm pretty sure our computer should be able to handle.
Yeah, no, those are like 3D designed in Java with like 400 memory leaks.
Yeah.
More memory leaks than dice have sides. It looked like it was rolling at like 5 frames per second.
Oh, 5 is generous. Yeah, I think it was up. I think it was actually 1. It was a frame per second. Verk, you got a perception for me?
Ended up with 12.
Oh,
What
his was the first one.
Oh, right, because it was linked to the other ones. Okay. So, you know what? No, that actually does make it. So actually, you all see each other. You're more or less the 3 people that are. Well, I mean, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. Davros, you're pretty calm. Jonas, you explicitly said you are just like the picture of pride. And Verk, you don't seem too upset, so you're more or less the people that are not freaking out.
That's what I was looking for. Just I'm trying
Yeah.
to find people that actually have their heads on their shoulders still.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just gonna follow them.
Okay, so Davros is like clambering out, and all of a sudden Davros, Verk is behind you.
I'm going to seeing. Do I recognize him from?
Yeah. You recognize him as the heavy from the.
I'm going to start picking up speed to try and put space between me,
Okay.
knowing the difference in gang culture.
Right. Verk, you see him trying to pull away from you. Jonas, what are you doing? You see these 2 guys. One is clearly a heavy, which any good god might want to have around their side, and one is a sneaky, roguey-looking type who is running away from the heavy.
Well, running away like in a loose sense, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to not make it look obvious that I'm trying to get away from him.
Right. Oh, I kind of wanted to approach them and say something, but I'm not sure from a, clambering up a wall of that's what I'll do. So I follow them, because it sounds like they kind of activated, this escape up and over the rubble. I'm guessing where we can see the city in daylight and stuff, not towards the city, but where we can see it. And so I'm kind of like clamoring for their attention, like, hey, wait, hey guys, like what's going on?
Short of, I actually don't know if 5th edition has chase rules. There's a couple different ways you can do it.
I haven't heard of it explicitly.
But when you see Davros trying to pull away Verk, what do you do?
I just think that he's just kind of in the normal flight of going away, so I just keep following him.
Okay. Stavros, you're not really able to gain much of a lead. However fast you go, Verk is able to match pace, but notably doesn't seem to be trying to chase you. He doesn't have hasn't picked up a weapon. Doesn't look like he's coming at you with ill intent. He's not running towards you like he's going to shoulder check you or tackle you. Does that change your attitude at all?
When I notice that I'll purposely make a turn here and there and see if he still follows me. And when I notice that he's actually following me and not just happening to be going in the same direction, is there anything like on the ground, like a rock or anything that I could use
Sure.
as like a makeshift weapon?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a rock.
All right. I'll pick it up and I'll tuck it behind my back and I'll turn and I'll face him. Did you guys have anything to do with this?
I mean,
No.
am I?
No.
Sorry, am I close enough to hear his address?
You're
or-
just close enough you can hear this happening, but you'd have to shout to be heard. So for the first couple seconds, you're not in the scene.
Okay.
Kind of still.
Go ahead, Bill.
No, I just saw you getting away from all this, so I figured you knew where to go to get out of it, so I just followed you.
Well, I would imagine getting away from the hellfire and brimstone is probably the best idea.
Yeah, so you seem to know where safety is, so I'll just follow you.
Hey!
I just
Hey!
know where-
Hey! Hey!
I was going to say, well, I know where danger
Whew.
is.
Oh my
but,
god.
How can we help you?
What the hell kind of an envoy do they send that you guys in the chaos of all of this would leave the VIP? What the hell?
Davros is going to turn around and continue in the direction that he was going.
Oh my god, so rude.
No sooner do you turn around, and you're, by the way, still within prison grounds. You're in the outside area,
In the
right
yard.
before the walls. The walls are mostly been knocked down by this point. At which point you hear a loud roar, and you see now in the distance, these vast, hellish creatures rising up from the ground, clawing their way from beneath the earth to tear apart the structures, and they begin to pull in prisoners by the handful to shove them in their mouths and crunch on their bones or toss them aside. Hellish creatures of all description: horns, jaws, claws. They have wings or many feet. Some of them breathe fire. Some of them are constantly dripping a black, bloody substance. Just a horrific sight. One of them pops up just in front of you.
In front of which?
How big are these
In
things?
front of Davros. This
Okay.
one that's in front of you is relatively smaller than the rest. It is merely huge sized.
Merely. Gotcha. Well, apparently I don't quite know where danger isn't, and I will...
On
bring
that
it
note, everyone roll initiative, please.
Yay.
Oh wait, no, we don't want to get copy struck.
Da, 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 da.
Um,
You guys are going to want to attack while its tail's up. That's actually how you beat this.
So
I found it.
my initiative roll.
Oh,
said
Kurt,
that
you
I
made it
didn't
look
have a
ugly.
token selected.
Oh,
Am I-
that doesn't. Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
guys aren't in whatever map that I have here. Yeah.
Yeah, but I see what it is now. So next time I'll use that, but that was my initial.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I try to click on the initiative, roll initiative button.
Uh-huh.
And you attempted to use a roll command looking for a value of a selected token, but no token are selected. So
Do you, in the map, do you see your character? Do you
Yes.
see a token? Click on.
okay, then I gotta roll.
That's weird.
There we go.
That's super.
It didn't do that for the oh my god, boy, he got
What's
the
going on?
118 and that's
Everyone's
it.
out of the way.
He's dumb
Yeah.
and lazy. He is an orc.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just roll
Roll for the huge sand creature. Yes.
What is it? Is it just /R?
/roll space 1d20 and then plus or minus whatever its initiative modifier.
Or you can go to the top left.
Ooh,
There's like a little D20 looking thing.
tough. So can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, tough break. So this thing's gonna go first. This creature in front of you, I'll describe this one a little bit more. So of the various hellish creatures in this terrible landscape, this one seems to have 2 wings. They are malformed and atrophied. If they were ever in use once, they can be used no longer. Maybe it was perhaps a proud griffin or something that has been mutated, or who knows. Either way, it has 1 head but 2 sets of jaws, one smaller off to the side that's constantly gnawing at the air, and one great toothed fanged mouth that is slavering and pointed directly at we're going to say you, Davros, because you're in front. This beast has shocks of hair rising up all over its body, and not only large claws but large bits of bone sticking out, forming a sort of makeshift spiky carapace. It is on all fours, not dissimilar to like a big cat, and has a long tail whose terminus ends in a bunch more of these barbed spiky points. It rears up and claws at the air before slamming back down. And you smell something profoundly rotten in the air when it roars. Anyway, it goes first. It's going to attack you, Kurt.
Mhm.
Is your armor class less than a 20?
Yes.
Okay. It hits you. It hits you with its left claw. It rears up. It slams down before, right as you say, like, oh, it looks like I don't know where danger isn't. And as you're finishing up that word, that's when the claw hits you. You fly backwards. Verk and Jonas, please both roll me dexterity saves. Oh, there it is. Okay.
That's the unskilled dex check, right?
Yeah.
No, that's if it's a save, you can do it off of your core stats.
I do not see them.
On the
I see the core stat. Oh, there we go. Dex save.
Unfortunately, you do not make it, Jonas, but you do, Verk. So Davros, you land on Jonas, and you both crumple to the ground. Verk, you kind of sidestep out of the way. You're actually, in pit fights, you're used to people being physically thrown throughout the air, so this is not new to you. Jonas, you take a flat 8 damage from being fallen on. And Davros, you take 16.
Oh dear Lord.
So.
I forgot to do wounds and vigor. Whatever, we'll do that after this combat.
Well, there's temp HP and max.
So temp
current.
HP is going to be your wounds.
Got it.
And yeah, did we do wounds and vigor in our campaign?
In the one that me and you did, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So these guys just need the explanation, yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna drop your current. Yeah. It's fine. I'll explain it in a second, because right as that happens, whose turn is it now? It is actually, I think there's a little widget where I can like display turn order, but for right now, I believe it is Jonas. It's your turn.
Yeah.
So you are currently beneath Davros on the ground.
Oh, of course, my family wouldn't send the best. So what do I have on me? Like, I know we have our character sheet.
Prison clothes.
Yeah, that's what I figured, right? So
yeah. You know what? The only thing that's different is you have a specific heirloom, like sword cane / rain stick, right?
Yes.
Just to make things a lot simpler, so we don't have to fuck with things later. as you strolled through the prison on your way out, you decided to make a detour past the armory, found that it was blown open, and grabbed your family heirloom out of it.
Okay.
Just because these guys can pick up like daggers and swords, it doesn't matter to them. Yours is like a character thing, so I don't need to unnecessarily take it from you. So you
Yeah.
picked it up, so you have that.
Okay. And whatever.
Yeah.
So like, do I see? I mean, perception wise, I just watched my compadre here get wrecked, right?
Absolutely.
So
What portion of your hit points is 16? What's your max? Davros?
The vast majority.
Okay, so this dude's looking fucked up.
And is there I don't know, the flight or fight, I think adrenaline rush is starting to kick in for Jonas, and but because of the perception of the hit that Davros took, he's leaning more towards flight.
Yeah, that's not unfair.
So I guess I would look around to see what my options are with getting out of the immediate area.
Mhm.
I definitely Davros kind of had like a I know where I'm going to try to go, and then
Yeah.
had that moment where he said he didn't. I'm looking for an escape towards the ocean because that's going to be my best bet.
Okay.
Or
so I'll be honest, as your sort of divine pride facade cracks, everything comes crumbling down. You are in a you like the second you let that slip, the panic just seeps right into your bones. This is a hellscape. There are what are almost certainly demons rising out of the earth. You can't see the ocean because the sky is too black and the air is full of smoke. You realize very quickly, oh God, I don't know where anything is, and you're certain you're about to die.
is there? I would imagine it's very possible for this prison to be on a port, right, or like next to a large body of water.
Yeah. This is a port town, sure.
Is it fair to say that I would feel a steam or humidity in the air because the large body of water is boiling?
You know what? Sure, you can smell that boiling salt water specific.
Oh dear Lord. It smells like pasta that's overcooked.
It does, yeah. Which personally is the most terrifying thing I can imagine.
So
Hold on. I just love how it didn't know, the game doesn't know what the DC for this was, but it outlined Bill's initiative roll in red. Like I don't know what the ob was, but it wasn't
That means he rolled a 1.
Red means I rolled a 1, and green means I rolled a 3.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
That's good to know.
Good to know.
So
I thought
it's
it
a
was
critical fail.
I thought it was the
critical
game just
failure.
going. I thought it was the game just going, oof, sorry, bro. That's I don't want
No.
to tell the DM what to do here, but okay. Anyway,
Yeah, the red just means a 1. Green
Okay.
means 20.
that's very helpful. Okay.
I feel like I'm able to do like a skill or an action or something. Like vicious. I would probably use my level 1 spell of heroism here. So I would wait. Am I in touch range of Verk?
I don't see why not.
Okay. So
And
'Cause I'm
just
definitely-
so you know, getting up from prone uses half of your movement for that turn.
that's fine. So yeah, am I within 15 feet of him, basically, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're within like 5.
Yeah. So I do get up and take a stance. And then I ready my level 1 heroism spell, which I am going to use as a touch to cast onto Verk. And realizing the situation, again, adrenaline based, the mantle of royalty is kind of washing away, the mantle of elitism is kind of slipping away as the apocalyptic atmosphere is sinking in. I touch Verk and I'm like, all right, go get him, backpack.
Verk, you are infused with heroic energy. However, Right
Yeah.
as you do that, right as you stand up, and for what it's worth, mostly I care about the performance of it, not necessarily the effect of what you do numerically, but that the choice you made. So you all see him, better or worse at least, and regardless of his motivation, stand up, not run away, and give his new bodyguard some inspiration. At this moment, like a beam of light from the sky, there is uh, uh, a crack of lightning. For a moment, all sound is sapped from the air. You don't hear the roaring of the fire or the smoke. Your eyes adjust after this crack of lightning, and standing in front of you upon broken cobblestones is a man cloaked in white armor. He is in between Verk and the beast. He's looking up at the beast. You can see he has long hair tied into an elegant braid flowing behind him. He carries a kite shield in his left hand, a gleaming longsword in his right. And you faintly see, as your eyes adjust, the images of what are certainly spectral wings out of his back, 4 of them. You feel calm. You feel energized. Davros, you immediately recover 6 hit points. Everybody gets a +2 bonus on all rolls. And he turns his head very, very quickly to look at you all, as if to make sure you're okay. Does anyone say anything in the next second and a half?
The gypsy was right.
I do not say
It's
anything.
it's
I'm
it's
pretty
like
awestruck
it's defeated and under my breath.
Yeah. The figure turns around to the beast and says, "Not today. Not these. They are under my protection, my guard, my ward. You may take this world, but you will not take everyone." And he leaps up in the air and drives his sword into the beast's face. Over the next couple seconds, the beast and this man tangle violently. As this is happening, give me, over the course of 1 round, does anyone do anything? Or do you watch this unfold?
I will hold my action to see what Verk does.
Okay.
I cower behind Verk.
Oh man, this is hard. I know what I want to do. I have a feeling I know what he would do. Because he's been inspired.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
Correct. And
He's
just,
been both inspired directly
itching.
from a Bard spell and has under the effect of this like powerful heroism aura coming from this Shining Knight.
Yeah. He just. Oh, I'm trying to think of like a good word for it. Like, this is perfect. Finally, a fight I've been waiting for, and just charges at this creature in front of him.
Okay.
And were you gonna say something or?
No, go on.
Leaps in to take an unarmed strike at the beast's jaw.
Okay. You leap in. The next couple rounds happen in a flurry of chaos. You begin to punch this thing in the face. It's roaring and mostly ignoring you as it's dealing with the knight, who is able to clamber on top and keeps stabbing his sword like he's like this is Shadow of the Colossus. And he's on the beast's neck, just keeps jamming it into his neck, trying to sever its spinal column.
Really quick, just for that round, I would have followed him if he charged in and tried to attack with the.
Okay, so you're going in and you're trying to land jabs where you can. While this is happening, Jonas?
My headstrong envoy.
And you don't do anything?
I mean, if I had popcorn.
Okay. as these guys belabor the beast, it's pretty clear. Maybe not Verk. I'm assuming you like Barbarian Rage.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not. You're just in a blind frenzy. Davros, actually, you're too close to Jonas. You realize very quickly your two new friend/bodyguards are fighting valiantly, but not really doing much. The knight, as you would expect, is doing the lion's share. The beast is really ignoring them, and finally, heroically, he lets out a scream and jabs the sword one last time directly through the base of this thing's neck, and you can see the head just snap down and start lolling. Like he actually completely severs the spinal cord. The beast just drops, just with a thud. The knight pulls his sword out with great effort, wipes the blood off on this beast's fur, and turns to you all.
I punched it so hard its head came off.
He just, when you say that, he just smiles at you, like he's not going to correct you. Sure, man, that's fine.
Yeah, I pat him on the shoulder and I'm like, oh, backpack.
He turns to you and he pulls out from the around his neck an amulet. It is like maybe what looks like a extremely complicated compass, maybe 3 inches in diameter, made of brass. It is covered in runes, markings, dials. It's got a gauge on one side. It looks like nothing you've ever seen, but you don't have a ton of time to gaze upon it. He pulls it out, takes it, is about to take it off of his neck, and says, "There's no time. But worry not. We go now to a better." And then his last word is cut off. From the ground, another claw rises up. This claw itself, just about the size of the creature you just faced. It grabs him, and he is like a tiny bug in this 7-fingered claw. It pushes him up into the air. You can see up to like the elbow of this thing. The thumb of this claw piercing him right through the chest, and blood flies out of his mouth. And he looks down at you. He's now 15 feet in the air, looking down as the claws pushed him up. And the claw then retracts into the ground as he flies down. His last action is he takes this device, snaps it off his neck, and it falls to the ground as he is pulled underneath. You are now left in front of a giant smoking hole in the ground from which a colossal claw has just emerged. A dead, huge-sized demonic beast in front of you. The city in absolute apocalypse. And this device just laying on the ground. For narrative's sake, I will say that this device is equidistant from all three of you.
Dibs!
As he starts talking, I actually, if he was like throwing it, I would have tried to have caught it.
Okay. Does anyone
'Cause
else
it seemed
try to
like-
catch it?
I'm just in awe of the shiny.
I think if it fell and landed and it was equidistant, my character would have literally shouted dibs. That's what I was saying.
Okay. All right. So let's see. That'll happen if Davros doesn't catch it. So Davros,
Yeah,
go ahead
that's
and
cool.
roll me. That's probably. Is there a appropriate skill for that?
Acrobatics, dex, like a dex.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just do straight dex for me.
That took a while to load.
No, you do not catch it. It lands equidistant. Jonas yells dibs. Do any of you go for it from this point?
Yeah, well, yeah,
I will.
I yelled dibs, and also that I saw it first, even though I watched him jump for it.
Right.
Dibs doesn't mean anything. It's the possession is 9/10 of the law, so I will go for it.
Okay. So Verk, are you going for it as well?
No, he called dibs. That's
That's sacred. This is the.
There's three rules in pit arena fights.
Right. Jonas and Davros, if you guys would like to roll opposing dex checks for me.
X checks. Where are you again? Not a deck save,
That is
right?
under skills at the bottom.
Skills all the
Unskilled.
way at the bottom.
Yeah. Unskilled, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Ouch. Ouch.
However,
You fall. You trip and fall.
No.
as you're attempting to grab this.
However, we have a +2, don't we?
No, a critical failure is a critical.
Yeah, you still.
No,
roll
that's
a one.
that's fine. That's fine. But
Yeah.
but we.
Oh, and you also don't have the +2 anymore because
Oh, okay.
he is very dead. I'd
like to think he's alive down there.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you can write the fanfic for that. Who knows? An undetermined. He doesn't die on screen, and there's no body, so who knows?
He's like Gandalf falling down, fighting the Balrog.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
was-
That's what's happening. He'll definitely come back in a couple sessions.
What was his name
Dapper,
again?
the-
Expendable?
The device is yours.
Whatever. Do I remember what he was trying to do as he was talking? Like, was there a motion he was trying?
Not he was just pulling it out, but he was saying we go now to a better place.
Is there anything like a button or a switch or a lever or anything on there?
Sure. Roll me. I'm sorry. I need to have. Why don't I have this in front of me? Yeah, the fucking list of skills. Give me 1 second. I should really have it myself.
There's
Classes. It's
There's Arcana, Insight, History.
yeah, but I really want to have this in front of me. Oh, duh! I can just pull up anybody's character sheet. Fucking idiot. Are you clicking your character sheet?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that I was like, what's happening? Yeah, sorry. I just need to roll me Arcana, please. You're not really sure what this does, but you're able to open it up. It is a device that expands to about twice its size. It unfolds like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a circle, or almost like, you know how a pizza is it's a circle made of a bunch of slices. If you were to have all the slices flip out vertically, you know what I mean? There's a word for what that shape is.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it flips out, and you're able to see upon each of these pieces is runes in a language you don't know, some kind of inscriptions, looks like some manner of equations, and there is a dial to select something, much like how a compass is, but if you could turn the needle towards something, it's manually rotatable via a little brass knob, and you see upon it words that at first you don't quite understand, but as you're examining it, by the way, as this is happening, there's more explosions in the distance. There's the roaring of creatures. Verk and Jonas, do you say or do anything while he's investigating this device?
Yeah, I peer over his shoulder and lean in really close.
Mhm.
And I'm like, hey, what you got there, buddy?
Verk?
You guys want to get going?
This is our way out. We're just trying to figure how to use it.
You as you're talking, actually, as you're saying that sentence, you begin to understand some of the words written upon the dial surface. You still could not say what language it is, but somehow you know what it says. I would like you to now roll me a D8. Actually, no, I'm sorry, a D10. A 10. Okay. Please re-roll. 7. Okay. So there are 3 words you can see. There's a host of them, but 3 become apparent to you and are revealed within. There's kind of a narrow cone, like a 30-degree cone made up of brass wiring, and it outlines 3 slices of this device. One of the slices says broken marble. One of the slices says worms. And one of the slices says songs. You can point the dial at one of these 3 or phrases.
What was the last one again?
Songs. Broken marble, worms, and songs. Broken marble is in the middle. Songs is to the left of it. Worms is to the right.
I'm gonna point it towards worms.
All right. You turn it towards worms.
I try to stop him.
You are unsuccessful. You are unsuccessful. He turns it towards worms. You're like, oh no! Oh wait!
There's 2 reasons.
And you, as you turn it that way, there is a feeling this device has some communication to you. It's almost like you're hearing something, but it's a little bit static. You can't quite understand what it is communicating. You're not an idiot. You can tell this is obviously magical in some capacity, but the kind of magic it is, you're completely unfamiliar with. As it sets to worms, you feel it grow warm in your hand, and then a soothing voice enters your mind. You still can understand it, but it is soothing and almost robotic. And then nothing happens.
Oh, thank God.
I'll. Can I still move it, or is it
Nope.
stuck there?
Stuck there.
I'll put it on the ground.
There is a hum, and then the ground beneath it begins to glow along the cracks. This is a now completely cracked road here. And it begins to say something out loud in a very soothing voice that none of you can understand, but it is attempting to be soothing. It is only towards the end that Davros, you begin to kind of like how you were able to understand the words eventually, kind of understand the language, and you think it's a countdown. You figure that out right at the word 1, and then everything goes white. Fast forward to today. Gentlemen, you are where you are here on this Roll20 map, seated around a campfire in a ruined mansion. There is a fireplace over to the left there. It is in disrepair. The chimney is cracked and fallen, and from parts of the rubble of the wooden floor, you've built yourself this little makeshift fire pit. You got here 2 days ago, arriving right on the outskirts of this very manor. Have met no one, have seen no living thing. And the device, while responsive, you open it, no longer gives you any indication of what it intends, and you can't read any of the words on it anymore. All the dial is clouded. Jonas is dead because he crossed himself out. You haven't eaten anything in 2 days, and you are growing very hungry, very tired.
Did we know how many days difference this is from the first scene to this?
So a couple things. There doesn't seem to be a sun wherever you are, so it's tough to tell. But you've been keeping track as best you can. You're pretty sure it's about 2 days. Maybe it feels like longer for those of you that are a little more.
It's been 2 days since the prison break.
Yes.
Okay, and then we haven't
Longer
eaten
for those
since.
of you who what?
Who are used to having things done immediately for them, like this. So
Okay.
for Jonas, this feels like a week, but it's been 2 days.
Yeah, for sure.
It's quiet. No creatures, sounds coming from the forest. A light rush of wind. Over the past couple days, what have you folks been doing here in this manor?
Trying to um trying to scout the area. Like, is it? You said it was forest outside.
Yeah, like deep, thick forest.
Yeah, just trying to see if there's any kind of wildlife or anything that we could see, anything along those lines.
Nothing.
Is it perpetually dark or is it just light with no sun?
Perpetually dark.
But there was a mansion.
There was. This was once a pretty big mansion, from what you could tell.
Are these
what-
can we tell that the thicket of trees are trees that we recognize, trees that follow the rules of the world that we came from?
They sure don't. So these trees seem
I,
to. If
I
you
take
ever,
it back. I take it back.
These trees seem to wriggle and when you touch them. Their roots are always kind of just bubbling under the ground. And the leaves are thin, like thin membranes.
Hmm.
Almost like they're very pale green pieces, pale green or pale gray pieces of flesh.
Are
Now,
there
I will say this. You are hungry because there is no animal wildlife and there's no real plant life other than some bits of rotted grass and foliage. However, the manor itself is mostly safe, or not safe, but mostly uninterrupted by this because of some of the wood paneling that's around. But all of the dirt is more or less teeming with big, fleshy, pink and red worms, maybe about 2-3 inches long, maybe about half an inch to an inch wide. Have any of you gotten desperate enough to try eating them?
I
going
might
back?
squish one out of boredom.
But do you eat it?
Not unless I see other people eating it.
Okay.
I would probably be the first. Actually, I don't know. Between Jonas and I, but I would probably at
they
some
might-
point.
They might be able to pull the whole, hey, you should try this.
So I do have a question about the scenery that we exist in. So in the mansion, are there any? Dan, you're gonna laugh at this question. I'm not trying to whatever, but are there any historical? Are there paintings? I'm not going where you think I might be going.
How to phrase this? All right, so I will tell you this. Let me just do a general. Let's catch everybody at the speed. Why doesn't everybody roll me a perception check?
Oh, cool.
Oof.
Which is weird because I've got night vision, but whatever.
Yeah. So obviously you guys have been here for a couple days, so this isn't inhibiting your ability to like. This isn't determining the mundane stuff. This is if you catch anything like super weird. None of you have found anything especially exciting. There don't seem to be any paintings. There is one empty painting frame on the wall opposite the fireplace, Jonas. One thing you did find, as a matter of course, if I may take the liberty of moving your character. Actually, can I?
Yeah, of course you can. Should be able to.
Oh. Hold on. Select. Is you found this. Can you guys see what he sees?
No,
Nope.
they can't.
No.
It's a weird part of the fog of war.
No, I can.
Unless you can open it up to them, yeah.
You guys can see it now, right?
My
No.
browser is acting up right now. Can't do anything with
Oh.
Roll20.
I only see my own character.
You can see the fireplace though, like in the fire, right?
Yes, I do see the fire.
But you don't see Jonas.
No, but I see on Chris's stream. I
Can
see
you
Jonas.
zoom out maybe a little bit just in case you have to?
I zoomed out. Like I
Okay.
even went up to the top right where you are.
Okay.
Compared
Yep.
to
Huh.
me and my.
I did change his option to all players see his light. That's weird, but we'll deal with that later. But Jonas, you found a desk strewn about with texts and supplies and tools.
So, what I was trying to ask about for paintings had nothing to do with obvious other stuff.
Yeah.
What I was getting at was, and I think I've got a high enough intelligence for my character to be on this wavelength, right? 14, yeah. I think this is appropriate. There's no sun. There's eternal darkness. We obviously live in a world that has adapted to the eternal darkness, but is this a world where it was always eternal darkness, or was there an adaptation? And so I'm interested in proving that outside of candlelight or a fireplace, that like I was looking for a picture of somebody to see if they had pigment. I was looking for, like in this case, finding a desk filled with stuff that somebody wrote stuff down. They understand what light is.
Yeah.
They understand, now maybe they wrote by candlelight or firelight or whatever.
Fire.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way for me to discern if there used to be a sun.
Okay. That's some great insight. But I'll say first, you don't find any paintings, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
when you find this table full of texts and tomes, one thing you notice is that a lot of them are written in different languages. What's your int score?
12.
Okay.
Right?
So not actually.
I'm sorry, 14.
Oh, okay. That's a little better. I'm going to say that you're able to tell that these languages are not only different, but some of them fundamentally seem like you're not a linguist, but now that you're pretty sure that you're in a fundamentally different world than the one you came from, it seems like these languages are also from different. They're different enough in radical ways that they don't seem to have any kind of shared. You find these pretty quickly. This is like, you get here, you get to the mansion. Davros starts scatting out the woods to see like how deep this goes and does sun ever come up, and you find these texts pretty quickly. Do you just start digging through them? There's no real pictures in any of them, unfortunately. But with enough time, you might be able to decipher some of the meaning.
If Davros would allow me, I would try to study the texts versus the device that we have.
Davros?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
As soon as he gives me possession of it, I crank the shit out of the mechanism.
Yeah, it doesn't move. You can't get it to.
Absolutely. But as soon as like I feel like for the couple of hours we were there or the first day we were there, Davros was like, "No guys, I tried it, I don't know." And then as soon as I get possession of it, I'm like
it still doesn't work.
I told you.
So yeah, I'm rummaging through the text by campfire to try to see if anything matches or looks like the stuff from it's a compass, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't actually, due to the way I made this, I can't move that desk. So I'll just move you back to the campfire and say that you brought the texts with you.
Sure.
You're going over it day and night, or as it is, night and night. At one point, I'll say, does anybody, I don't want to stereotype here, but is anybody chopping wood for the fire? And if so, who's the person chopping it? Okay. So, Verk, there's these tree things. If you try to cut them, they a weird sticky blood-like sap comes out, and
Mhm.
you hear a low groan.
Mm-hmm.
But the manor, the ruin, seems to have plenty of what looks like complete. If that answers your question a little bit, actually, maybe not in terms of light, but whatever these trees are made out of is not the same thing that this manor is made out of. Manor is made out of, as far as you can tell, normal wood.
Yeah. Okay. Like wood that I'm
So,
familiar with like a photosynthesis.
right. So if
You know,
something
yeah.
changed, if it certainly couldn't have come from these tree things, whatever they are. So perhaps something has changed. Verk, at one point you get a splinter from chopping fire.
Okay.
And like any good zombie movie, he doesn't tell anybody.
Right.
Of course.
No, this is from chopping the normal wood of the
Oh,
down.
oh.
It begins to, within a couple hours, you realize that it begins to like throb and hurt, and it is starting to ooze a green pus. And you've gotten like cuts, broken bones. I imagine you have a pretty high pain tolerance.
hmm
This hurts. This is distracting how much it hurts. So you have this. We'll start off right now around the campfire. You got this splinter a couple hours ago. It's just now reaching really intolerable levels of pain and is oozing. Davros, are you? You have gone out as far as you're willing to go before it gets a little too creepy, and not really found any signs of anything other than these thick, gooey woods.
Is there grass on the ground, or is it all dirt?
It's like mostly dirt. There's some shrubbery, but even that has by and large is this kind of sticky skin-like substance that's kind of flapped out of them. But the dirt at least seems like dirt. What are you doing?
Davros or me?
Davros.
I'm thinking. I'm not gonna just keep wandering in one direction unless we're all going. So I'll head back to the manor.
Okay. So you're back around the campfire. Is that fair?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Roll me a perception check. Okay. You notice Verk's oozing wound and that he is visibly pretty severe pain.
You all right there, big guy?
Yeah, this splinter's hurting something fierce.
Well, did you pull it
I'll,
out?
like stick my. Is it in my hand or arm or
Yeah, it's in your hand.
in my hand? I'll like shove my hand toward his face.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it smells terrible.
Is like there an actual splinter in there, or is all I see the ooze?
All you really see is the ooze.
I don't really know much about these things. Jonas, what about you? Do you have any history with medicine or anything along this?
I have a book in my hand that I'm feverishly going over, and I clap it shut, and like my head snaps to him, and I'm like, "Oh, Mister, this is the way out. All of a sudden, needs some help."
I don't need help. Our friend here does.
I'm sure I could sing a song to put his mind at ease or something. I don't know. There's not a lot of inspiration here. I feel like but whatever. We can figure it out.
So what do you do?
I play with my daughter for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
So I well, like would we know, and or maybe out of character a little bit, obviously, is Verk at this point taking actual damage, or is this all just
Verk has taken 2 points of damage.
Okay. So then, yeah, I would sing him an uplifting song from my family's heritage that would manifest in a cure wounds spell.
Oh, okay.
Is that not what I should be doing?
No, I don't know. I don't know how you cast. It's up to you. You don't have to always cast by songs. Bard songs and spells are 2 different things. If you decide that you only cast by singing, that's totally fine.
Yeah, like in an incredibly annoying way. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I.
So you cast Cure Wounds. I
Yeah.
think it heals for.
I'll pull it up. It's right here. 1d8 plus my spellcasting modifier. So,
So 1d8 plus what's your charisma modifier? 3.
it's my charisma
you're-
modifier.
If
Yeah.
your spellbook
Yeah.
is set up right, you should just be able to click cast spell, and it'll roll the dice and add your modifiers appropriately.
It's true. I think I did set it up that way.
There is no. So hold on. Cast spell. Okay.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
6 HP healed. So you are overhealed. You feel fine. And the ooze pretty quickly clears itself up. And you see the splinter and they're able to pull it out. And you're right as rain, but that went from trivial wound to like severe infection much quicker than it had any right to. So, lesson learned, maybe. Do you give any more thought to this, Jonas, or you just go right back to your ship?
No. I'm definitely observant of what's going on. So, I feel like I'm taking in the fact that like, wait a second. When did you get that splinter?
Just a little bit ago.
And where did it come from?
Point over to whatever it was I was trying to take apart at the time.
Just a shelf over in the corner.
Yeah.
Davros will go over, and is there any piece of it that looks relatively sharp that I could take off of what he was breaking up?
Yeah.
I will
Fasten a spear out of it.
no, I'll take off I don't know. I'll take off my shirt and I'll pick up the wood and I'm gonna actually go out to one of the jab it.
You jab it. It doesn't seem to do anything more than a Oh, by the way, I didn't even realize this. The way you were able to chop wood, Verk, is there are some tools lying around. There's a kitchen where there were some knives, Davros, if that appeals to you. I know you're a
Yep.
rogue and I want to stereotype, but
Would a ninja do those?
they're rusty and not in great shape, but they'll stab in a pinch. And you're able to kind of like sharpen them as best you can on some of the stones, maybe. But Verk, there's an old woodman's axe that has fallen into disrepair that you kind of were brute forcing with. But yeah, you stab this tree. The tree groans out, and you think you hear something inside of it wriggle around. But it doesn't seem to be that this wood does anything special to it, that another stabbing object. If you were to like also stab with your knife, it doesn't react any differently.
Okay. I'll leave it there and I'll go back into the house.
Okay.
My out of character money is on that there's more worms inside.
That's insane. If you're gonna fill up this campaign with nonsense like that, then you might as well just...
Well, Dan's like, well, it wasn't, but now it is.
Yeah, right. That's the great DM trick: is that you say something vaguely creepy. The player goes, "Is it this?" And you're like, "Would it upset you if it was that?" And they're like, "Yes." You're like, "Then yes, it is. It always has been."
Never give the DM ideas.
Never give the DM ideas. So anyway, Jonas, as Davros is off stabbing trees, you make some headway on these texts, and there's a couple. You stumble across some notes in a book that were clearly written after the fact by someone else who had stumbled across them. They are in a language you do understand. They are in a foreign but still intelligible dialect of the common tongue. Meaning someone else from your world at some point made it here.
Yep.
It is note-taking along the same lines of your turn to investigate. Someone determining, what is this world? Oh, I think I translated this word correctly. I think this means this. I think this world has this and this property. Someone else from where you come from has investigated some of the rot here. They have underlined a couple sections and they can confirm this is the world of worms, and for good reason. It wasn't always this way. They can't trace what happened, how it became like this, but it is a disturbing place. They can't seem to find anything of sustenance, and they fear that if they don't find a way out soon, they're never going to leave. They're going to die here. This place will kill them. Later on, there's a journal entry about, or not a journal, but a note about a wound one of the companions had suffered. It festered slowly and then with great rapidity until soon enough their party member was convulsing on the ground, vomiting some kind of thick black blood, dying shortly thereafter. The cause of the wound was he cut himself on the thumb while whittling. The writings grow increasingly frantic. They're afraid. They're hearing voices where perhaps don't exist. And then slowly but surely the writing stops.
Was the book neatly put away?
It wasn't.
It wasn't ominous. It wasn't.
Is there in our days at this place? Is there a second floor or basement to this mansion?
That is a fascinating question. Now, you encountered a ruined staircase leading up, but as you can see above you, there's like no ceiling. It would, if there was once one there, it's crumbled long since.
So here's
I'd like you to. What?
so here's my thing, Kurt. He said the world of worms. Like, think about the context of asking if there's a basement in the world of worms.
Well, let's put a pin in that. Robert, I'd like you to roll me. Now, I'm assuming is take 20 still a thing in this game? I imagine it is.
Take 20. What's that?
It's when you take your time, you can just take a 20.
Like when you're not rushed or in combat, yeah.
Haven't ever come across it.
I don't see why we couldn't just do it.
Can I ask? I don't know about anybody else, but I think like a 3-minute bathroom clean up my desk area would be awesome.
Bugging the crap out of me for a sandwich, so.
Oh sure.
That would be perfect. Yeah.
Let's break for 5.
All right, I'll be back.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Yep. Oops. All right, we're gonna break for a couple seconds, everybody. So bear with us.
You want some water?
All right, I threw up the AFK here. Ooh, wait, I gotta turn the. Where's my webcam? Hello. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there we go. All right. So, whoops. Let me mute the Discord. All right, and I'll be back in just a second. I'm gonna clean up my desk here and use the restroom. All right, y'all.
I'm back.
I am back.
Welcome back. So she was bugging me for a sandwich. I get up to go give it to her, and she's passed out.
That sounds like a parenting win.
Welcome back, Frats.
What entire time? This entire 2 hours, yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a very high angle. Well, then you should have put pants on. I had to step away. We're fine. Yeah, World of Worms, guy.
Yeah, I have one of those Eagles cups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have about 14 of them altogether. A couple of them are Phillies. But I've basically had at least one of those cups, if not two, from almost every Eagles game I've been to. They make great tumblers, great everyday cups.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what the solution to this puzzle is gonna be, unless there's a clue for looking for a basement. That's about that.
No, I mean, Dan's probably going to give you something for having found a basement. But yeah, I mean, typically it's about exploring the world that he's created, and then him freaking us out until we can't take it anymore. And
You
then,
wanna know my reason for picking the worm?
I mean, sure.
Get the worst one done first.
Nope.
Oh,
Although
figured-
that would have been good.
I figured I thought it each related to one of us. I thought the broken marble was the barbarian. The songs were you. So I figured the worms are me. So I'm like, I'm gonna pick mine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They probably did relate to us, in the sense that he gave us. You rolled, and because he gave us three, he gave us the ones that were directly, potentially related. I unfortunately know that this is a world in which Dan has DM'd before, so I'm familiar for a different PC reason, and obviously I'm not going to try to denigrate the integrity of the game. But as soon as it happened, I'm like, I kind of wish he didn't. We going to bed? All right. Bedtime, Bubby. High five. Okay, I'm gonna mute the stream.
All right, bitches, I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right. Well, we explored the basement. There was an exit, so we took it.
No,
And
the
then
vectors are out.
and then now we're at whatever the next world is.
Yeah, cool. That's World of Hugs
Aw.
from Worms. That's World of Worm Hugs, actually. Sorry, guys.
Roll of perception. There's worms at the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It turns out whatever world you go to, yeah, if you pay enough attention, it's always with worms is attached to the name of it.
Hey, I vote we go to the land of Gummy.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's perfect. So, it is approaching what you're pretty sure is the end of your third day here. When Davros, you hear a very soft voice, just like you heard from before from the device, and it's saying something you can't quite understand, but you're getting a tone, an intent from it. It's talking about location or presence. Jonas, as you're flipping through these books and looking through, you see mentions, by the way, you've seen mentions of a device, of some kind of device that enables transit. You're not seeing much of a way out, but you see different writings from different texts about the different ways people have gotten here, but you don't really see anything about how to leave. As this is happening, again, Davros, you hear the voice continue to speak, and as you pay more attention, the words begin to get clear. Why don't you roll me a wisdom check? Or we'll call it a save. We'll call it a saving. So wisdom save.
Yeah.
Wow. All of a sudden, as you enter this, like, is Davros religious at all? Like
He believes, but he doesn't follow anything.
yeah, I mean, everyone believes in gods unless you're like an idiot, because like they objectively exist. They're over there. They have like whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't have
religion?
a deity that he follows.
Yeah. Would you say, Bill?
What's religion?
What's you don't this fucking guy. Yeah. So actually, is Verk superstitious?
Let's go with yes.
Okay.
He
So he has
he can kind of get the willies to certain things.
and he has like maybe good luck charms or good things that he thinks give
Yeah.
luck, or black cats
Yeah.
and stuff. Okay. Anyway, so Davros, you're not a religious man, and yet you feel a serenity as your mind just sort of like clicks into place with whatever this strange language is. There's a something really inherently soothing about it without you knowing why. You feel okay when you listen to this voice. It is much louder for you than everybody else, but Jonas, if you look up from your book, you begin to hear it as well, though you can't quite understand it. And Verk, you hear like a low mumbling, but have no idea. If you even like register that it's coming from the device, you don't know what it's saying.
Okay.
Davros, it is repeating in this same soothing tone, attempting to verify coordinates. It just keeps slowly looping that.
I'll pointedly look at Jonas. The device. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Wait, I'm on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
One last time as I make the full motion of giving up the device, I'm like
It does.
and then like exasperated as I let it like fall off my fingertips into his hands. I'm like, okay.
Davros, it continues to say, attempting to verify coordinates. What do you do?
Is it in the position where the triangles are inverted?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I will go outside.
As in, like outside of the mansion.
Out of the mansion.
Okay. As you continue to travel, you hear it continuing to repeat this, and
I will
right.
motion for them to follow me.
Oh, okay. Do you guys follow him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
You kind of get the feeling. You feel it start to warm and cool and pulse in your hand, and every time, occasionally, it will stop saying anything, and then you'll move a little bit, and as you move, it'll repeat what it's saying. At one point, it says, actually, we'll play it out live. There's a map here, so go ahead and move 5 squares wherever you'd like, and I'll tell you what it says.
We're talking about Davros, right?
Yeah.
I have moved to the south.
Okay. There you go. I see. It just takes a while to update. So it says attempting to verify coordinates, and then it says coordinate verification paused. Please access coordinate locus.
Come again?
Please access coordinate locus.
Is that all the same language?
Yes.
I'm not being an asshole.
Yeah, that's English.
Locus?
I will.
Locus. Yeah.
Can I spin the dials at this point in time?
You cannot.
Okay, I will move again.
Okay.
Do we need to be following behind him since he
You don't
just
need
heard-
to be doing anything. You're welcome to.
Yeah, it'd probably be smart.
Why,
I stand behind Verk. I'll make the appropriate adjustment, but I'll stand behind Verk, and I'm kind of like holding his waist, and like a little like below his shoulder blade to the side, like looking out to see
Right.
what Davros is up to.
Yeah. Davros, it says,
I can't see where people went.
coordinate
down
locus.
and left?
Oh, you can't. Oh, that's so weird. It says coordinate locus located, coordinate locus out of range.
It's found us, but apparently we're too far.
We're
You
what?
cut out there, Kurt.
I said it's found us, but apparently we're too far away.
Does that mean we got to start walking?
What was it? What did it say the other time?
It was attempting to find the coordinates. Then it was coordinates located, but move to coordinate locus. And then it just said the locus was located, but it is too far away. So the device knows where it is, where the locus is, but it is not where you are. You are still far from.
Is the device getting warm or cold in your hand?
That was my next question.
That's like a
Yeah.
legit question.
No, that's fair. You know what?
And when it's warm, that's where I want to move towards.
Sure. You know what? Let's make it real. Yeah, it does get warmer once you start to approach a certain area. So as you're facing the northwest, Kurt, that's where it starts to get warm.
Okay, give me a second.
So just at the very edges of your vision, you see what? Do you guys just see shrubs right now and a path?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
It says coordinate. It repeats coordinate locus located. Approaching locus.
On me, fellas. Over here.
Is there any way to not have it? Oh, I didn't mean to long click. Not have it like completely grayed out because like I can't even see Frat standing next to me.
Really?
You can spin your character around with if you.
So okay,
click
if I'm
the,
if I'm looking straight north,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I can see how like turning my character. If I'm looking straight north, I can just see the slight edge of Frats and the slight edge of
Hold on. Let
Devereaux.
me.
If I look
me-
straight to my west, I can't see Frats at all.
It's a very like specific mechanic they built in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working the way before. Before I was able. I have Frats in particular checked as all players see light. Maybe we have to like
No,
reload.
I can see what he sees if I'm looking like right now. Devereaux, like I can see him looking down the path.
Uh-huh.
But if I spin around so that he's to my back, I don't see his
Oh, I
character
got you.
or his vision at all.
I got you. That
Oh.
is okay.
I see what the issue is. Yeah, we have to have them in sight to also gain their sight.
Yep.
I think that is actually a button in force line of sight. Give me a second. Oops. I think I just reloaded the game.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure like standing here I would be able to like pivot my head and still see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to work on the optimization. Ooh,
Does that change it?
that gave us the campfire.
Not for oh yeah, I can see their stuff. Let me move a little way
yeah, I can still
away
see.
from Frats. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I just made it so basically everybody kind of shares line of sight.
But I do still see the campfire.
That you should. At this point, I'll fuck with this later.
Probably
I-
probably because it's a source of light.
Yeah, but there's walls, and I have dynamic lighting set that those walls should block the light from the campfire.
No, for sure. I get why it shouldn't
No,
be shared, but
Yeah.
unless
It's-
there's
it's
there's
like
no
a
there's
friendly
no
versus hostile entity.
I
there's
don't.
no
That isn't a setting as far as I can tell.
and there's no
Okay.
GM token hovering over the fire or anything, right?
It is a GM token, but it shouldn't like.
Okay.
I just in that I set it to I am the owner. That's fine. We can fuck with
Alright.
that later.
So we're going
Moving
northwest,
closer
boys.
To the path.
Would you say, Kurt?
We're moving there.
Okay. The device
Warmer,
is very warm in your hand.
Is it saying anything new, or it's?
No, it's continuing to say that the locus is you are approaching it.
Onward.
Moving a little bit more.
As you approach the space between that statue and the well, you notice a couple things. First of all, that statue looks remarkably like the kind of armor and regalia that the knight had been wearing who attempted to rescue you after the prison break.
Just FYI, the statues are black on my screen, and so
I
is the
just sent
well.
a screen. Like all the trees are like fog a word out,
We're getting
It's
the
fine.
and
The well is on the path, and the statues are to the north.
yeah
Is the well blacked out too?
yeah for some weird
Yep.
reason.
oh, if I go to this side, I can see the statue gets unfog a ward.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't matter what side you
It's
like.
just an
Yeah,
arrow.
It's all.
yeah.
This
It's
thing
a
might be
weird.
the dynamic lighting might be more trouble than it's worth. I thought it'd be cool to have this like exploration type thing, but I don't know that it's implemented well enough.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I've opened it up. Yeah, we're good.
so right as you approach that, also as you hit the well, it finally beeps and hums and says coordinate locus found, initiating anchor.
I will wait.
Does anyone investigate any of the surroundings while Davros is waiting?
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
look down the well, see what's in there.
Okay.
I imagine Vert going up to the well and then being like, "Hello."
You've looked at the well before. Nothing good came out of it when you pulled up the bucket. But doesn't seem particularly weird in any way. After a couple seconds, as the device continues to hum, you feel a cold presence rising from the well. And you hear a voice, Ver. It says, "Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?"
Burke. What's yours?
I will look at him like he has gone absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
you do not hear anything coming from the well. You just hear Verk talking. Same with you, Jonas. You don't hear the other voice.
Yeah.
The voice says, "My name is Brianna."
Hello, Brianna. Are you down there?
"I am down here. It's so lonely, and I'm so cold. Do you have a blanket?"
No, I don't.
"Oh, that's too bad. I'm very cold."
Well, why don't you come up here?
"Oh,
Who are you talking to?
Brianna, she's down the well. Don't you hear her?
Not at all. I'll look frantically at the device.
I
Hopefully,
love Frat's face.
oh yeah, I should be watching the stream to see." Brad's-
World of Worms.
Guys, it's fine. It's not a big
It's
deal.
not a worm, it's Brianna.
It's Brianna. That's not a worm name.
Wait, is it spelled? Wait, is it spelled with a Y?
I won't tell you. She says, "I'm scared. It's so dark up there, and there's so many wriggly things."
Isn't it dark down there?
"Oh no, not at all."
Kirk, stop talking to this thing.
Do I see light down there at all?
You don't at first, but after a couple seconds, you begin to see the faint glimmer of something, like maybe the reflection of a little bit of candlelight on glass.
Now, with dark vision, would that make any impact?
That's probably the reason you can see this.
Okay. Well, she says it's light down there.
Do you see light down there?
I explain to them what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
The
I can't
device
remember
is
exactly
finally
what you-
working. I vote that we just stay here and let it do its thing.
I'm just at a loss for words. What I could
Well, that's a first.
what I could do. Wait. Each object within any creature within the. I am going to cast Fairy Fire and direct it down the well.
Okay. So what's the range on that?
Area of effect is a 20-foot cube, but the range is 60 feet.
Do you direct it 60 feet down?
As best
All
I
the way?
can. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's magical, so I imagine you can just like in your head just say, "Hey, this is X far." And it
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine. So yeah, so you launch Fairy Fire down the well. It kind of blinds you at first, Verk, because it's pretty dark. Actually, all of you guys are kind of shocked by this. And you see the outline of the well as the Fairy Fire goes down, and the outline of the well is moving and pulsing, and you notice down the sides of the well are rows and rows of concentric little teeny spikes, almost like, and I'm kind of stretching here, but I want to give an analogy here, almost like rows of teeth. And
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Well,
and at the bottom of this thing, you see what for a second is outlined this large glowing orb that then blinks at you.
so I feel like your analogy is really off with the rows of
Yeah.
teeth.
Right. I was just spitballing.
Yeah, that's probably a terrible way to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look great down there, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure who this Brianna person is. I use person extremely lightly here, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna really suggest that Verk, what's the what are the kids calling it nowadays? Ghost her.
Oh! Davros, as you what are you doing while this is happening?
I am praying to all of the gods because I don't believe it. I don't follow a single one of them, but I'm praying
Yeah.
to all of them that this thing responds.
Are you John Constantine, a la the movie? You
Yes.
have just like a cross, it's Star of David, Moon of Allah.
Everything.
As you're doing that, you lean back on your heels and you feel a crunch.
Oh.
And you realize at that moment, especially because you've kind of gotten used to how the ground is just very squishy here at all times, you look down and you see just barely popping out of the earth a bone.
This cannot be good.
Do you investigate the bone?
I am going to
That's what I asked my wife
stand.
every night.
I'm going to stand statue still.
Uh-huh.
And hope and pray.
Okay.
I will call attention to it. I will say, what is that?
As you guys look at that bone jutting out of the ground, you start to realize now that the area around the well is littered with the tiny little scraps of bone that have almost completely been absorbed by the loam and the worms around it, but not fully. And see now that there is, perhaps it was always here, you're not sure, a very tiny ring of bones, like a little circular graveyard around the well. The stones at the top begin to crack and groan, and you hear from the bottom, Verk. And again, you guys do not hear this. Verk, you hear, please, a blanket, something warm, skin.
I would have thought the fairy fire would have produced some sort of heat.
As
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
as Frats was referencing the young crowd, yeet.
So you
As
just
I step back.
Okay. Great. Roll me a reflex save. Or a dexterity save. Just the term.
Dex save. Isn't there a reflex save as well?
No, it's
No.
just stats.
Oh,
saves.
okay.
You have on the core stats, you have like two things
No.
that you're proficient with.
Yeah, no, I have all those. I could have swore that there was a reflex. But
All right.
yeah.
Bill, I got good news and bad news for you.
Yay.
The bad news is that so go ahead and if you won't mind, put your token right back next to the well for me.
Okay.
The bad news is that as you turn to yeet away, the stone crumbles away from the lip of the well, and this maybe 4 foot wide tube of flesh and spikes lashes out and grabs your foot, sucking it in.
Hmm.
The good news is that you hear a voice from inside the well that says, in a very pleased tone.
Can I punch it?
It is made of matter, so yes, you could punch it. But hold on for 1 second, because right as it grabs you, Davros, or no, that's wait, isn't Davros a Game of Thrones character?
No, Davros is
Um,
a city, I think.
No, you're thinking
Yeah.
of Davos, Davos.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, Kurt, I'll let it slide. Right as that happens, you hear a click, and it says, anchor point locked. Give me 1 second. I want exact words here. Anchor point locked, now navigating the grave. Please hold for destination options.
Okie dokie.
As that happens, you see a flash of light coming southeast from the woods, like right as she says anchor point locked.
Oh, from where we came from?
Not from inside the manor, from further
past
south
it,
of
yeah.
the manor, through the woods.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. From where you came from, as in like when you first got here. Yes.
Yeah.
And you, I'm assuming you don't say anything. And right as that flash happens, you hear just barely the sounds of whispers coming from that direction. So something has arrived. Your device is currently navigating the grave ? For navigation options ? And Brianna has grabbed Verk's foot. Verk, you're about to start punching it. Let's hold on that. Jonas and Davros, what do you do?
Pull out one of the kitchen knives
Mhm.
and keeping the device in my other hand, I will reach down and also attempt to try and get Verk free by stabbing the tube.
Jonas?
um. Are we able to hear the creature at this point?
Nope. It's not talking to you.
Can we discern why? Can we? Is there a clear or obvious reason why it's only able to talk to Verk?
You don't even know that it's talking at all. Well, I guess he did
Well,
indicate to you that like
he's
talking
talking
him,
to
I guess.
Brianna, yeah, but
Yeah. But no. You're not unfamiliar with. Actually, I mean, if you'd like, you want to roll me.
yes,
Is Arcana still a thing? I believe.
Yes.
Roll me Arcana.
yes. $22.
You are familiar and have become so from your bardic travels with tales of sirens luring men to their doom and creatures of the Fae, and all sorts of different magical beasts that seduce their prey by speaking to them directly via this one-to-one magical link. This is not out of the bounds of possibility. You've never seen one in real life, but it's a way of luring prey without alerting that prey's companions to any possible danger. So you're pretty sure it has just opened a telepathic link to Verk himself and is speaking directly to him.
Okay.
And this thing is very clearly like an anglerfish has laid a trap, posing as a human object. So that does jive.
Yeah, like this is almost a familiar that has taken the form of a. Is a familiar? What's the mimic? And I mean,
Kinda,
I know
yeah,
it's a
sure.
different. I know you're saying it's a different creature, and a mimic
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a specific creature, but
Yeah.
it has that same laying a trap kind
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
mechanic. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Get his from you pushed. How would that work? That's not going to work. Um. Turn. I gain an advantage. That's fine. And so I would know that they're only communicating through a telepathic link.
Some kind of magical, maybe it's telepathy, maybe it's psionics. You're not entirely sure, but like, yeah, they're communicating through some kind of link.
Okay. Um. I think I want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and use my enhance ability transmutation spell.
Okay.
Let's see. Target has advantage on Constitution checks. No. Bull's strength. No. Cat's grace. Dexterity. Yeah, that's probably right now, right? Dexterity check.
Depends on how he's trying to get out of it.
Yeah. So let's go back to Verk. Are you just trying to punch it as in to kill it, or are you trying to pry it off of you?
I was just gonna punch it. It attacked me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Or I could cast a suggestion on Verk.
I suggest you don't do stupid shit anymore.
No, I'll just save it. I'll just prepare to either prepare to attack it or actually attack it if I have the opportunity to.
But for right now,
Right now what?
you don't do anything. You're just holding.
I mean, can I attack it? I will. Like
It's not like an illusion. It's a big ass worm.
yeah,
You certainly
yeah.
can, yeah.
In fact, what I would like to try to do, and I don't think this is a called shot, like a minus thing or anything. I don't think. You can tell me if it is. I'd like to pull out my cane sword, which I will say I expect Verk and Davros to be like, "Oh, there's a sword in there," and
I roll my eyes.
Davros, being not an idiot, has figured out immediately that this was a sword cane. Oh.
And I try to pierce the worm, and if I can, depending on the thickness of the skin and what have you, but if you allow me, I'm trying to pierce it and pin it to whatever soft under the whatever that soft ground is underneath.
Okay.
So kind of like put a spike in it, if you will, but using my sword.
Sure. Roll me a attack roll, and then If it lands, roll me a free second attack. I'll give you a bonus attack, but it is going to be a strength check to push the sword down into the ground to do the pinning attack. First, you have to land the vertical. So roll me that attack.
If you have the thing in your weapons tab,
Thank you.
just like your spells, you can just click the attack. It'll
Yeah.
do all the.
If you do that, it automatically rolls damage. Which
Well,
I find
it either
kind of annoying.
well, but it either succeeds or it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Roll type, prompt. Oh no, yeah.
Okay, you do hit it. And for 6 damage, it's quite a bit. As a bonus action, please roll me a strength check. For every point over 10, you add a point of damage. At 10, let's say at 8 points of damage, you will pin this to the ground. For every point more than 10, I'll add it to its DC to break free. So far you've dealt 6 damage. In 2 more, it will be pinned, and every point thereafter is basically bonus. Does that make sense?
And what do I need out of my strength to add damage?
I need you to roll over a 10. Nope.
Oh,
That's
No,
3.
sir.
That's 3 critical fails
Yeah, that's not great.
in not many rolls.
So now your sword cane is stuck in it, and it's flailing around, and the handle of the sword cane is flopping over the ground. So it's embedded in it, but it has not been pinned to the ground yet. Let's take this opportunity to roll initiative.
don't even get to punch it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. You would have gotten a punch off before this happened. Yeah, go ahead and roll me that punch.
Oh, okay.
You attempted to use a roll command looking for the value of a selected token.
Oh, jeez.
What the hell?
So
Wow.
click on your character, Chris, and then click initiative.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Okay, so it goes Davros, Jonas, Verk. Verk, you do miss your attack on this worm.
Yeah.
It's Brianna. Oh, sorry, on Brianna. I should use her proper name. Davros, it is your turn. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me roll initiative. Hold on. Wow, doing great today. So I go second, right behind you, Davros. You go first.
Okay, I am making that cut with the kitchen knife that I have. For all intents and purposes, dagger.
Yeah, sure. You're just trying to stab it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, with the sword cane flopping around, is there
Uh-huh.
any way that I can grab that and then force it down even more?
Absolutely. That is the kind of thinking that I want to see. Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
what I would like to do.
I
Precisely what Brianna wanted.
I will tell you no, but I will tell you this as a brief, like, to my GMing style. If you guys spend all of your rounds either like just attacking or doing your own thing and not working together, you will 100% lose every fight in this game. Just FYI. It is balanced around teamwork and creative thinking. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's a great idea. So all you need to do is roll me a DC 10 Dex save to grab it. Once you've grabbed it, go ahead and roll me a strength check to try to pin it into the ground.
Whoa.
Yep, you grab the fucking sword. You got it with both hands. You have a keen grip on it. You can pull the sword out. I'm assuming you don't want to. To push it down further to the ground, roll me strength.
Here comes the sad one, guy.
No. What do you got? Oh. Nope. You've got the sword though. Your grip on it does not loosen. You're just like kind of. Well, I will say this, because you're holding onto the sword, and it can't flail quite as much. I'm gonna drop its. I'm gonna give it Oh, here we go. This is 5e. I'm gonna give everybody who attacks it advantage because it can't flop around as much because you're kind of. It's not pinned into the ground. It can still move. but you're holding it a little bit in place because the sword has pierced through its entire top layer, it just hasn't gone through the bottom layer into the ground. I'm gonna go. I as Brianna.
Can I, as a right before my turn ends,
Huh?
I'll be like, Vert, push this thing down.
Yeah, the guy with the only actual strength score. And you can on your turn, Burke, take it from him if you'd like. I'm not going to make that an action. You're holding it, Bert, so you can
I
just
got an
hand
I
it.
I have an idea of what to do.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to take my turn, and the worm undulates, and you hear this sucking sound, and it tries to pull itself farther up your leg. Roll me dexterity, please. Dexterity save.
Can't just strengthen my way out.
Mm-mm.
All right, here comes another critical failure. Oh no!
Oh, there you go. It does not get any further up your leg. It's still only got your ankle. You're able to kind of like wriggle your way a little bit free. You are going to take a little bit of damage.
If you go to the top left, there's a little dice tab.
Oh, can I just click it right from there? Yes, I can.
You can click that, and it gives you a little menu to click of what kind of dice and how many.
Oh, I like that. But I can't add numbers to
So
it.
if you just click on the dice
Yeah.
off that menu, it brings up a little menu, a small menu that says dice roller,
Oops.
and you can do advanced roll. You can roll
I see it.
how
Yeah,
many of which dice plus.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to roll a d6 plus 1, and I ended up rolling just a d6, so let's add one of that, so 6. So you do take 6 damage from the teeth on the inside of this thing, but it does not get any further up your leg. Jonas, right? It's your turn?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Is anybody making... Well, does anybody shout or make any kind of loud noise?
I yelled for him to push the thing down.
Okay.
Damn thing bit me. Starting to get pissed off.
I think. Wait, what are you rolling?
Don't worry about it. It's your turn, though.
Oh.
I should have.
Let's say we.
Another one of those huge griffins that I punched its head off of.
Can I try to jump in with Davros to grab my cane sword, and then sort of step in where Verk, obviously needs to take another moment to. Well, actually, because he's got the thing on his leg, maybe he wouldn't even be able to grab the sword, or might not be able to wriggle away to be able to do that. So, I
don't see why he couldn't set himself up. Grab it.
Okay. So, but either way, I'm gonna hop in and grab the bottom of the hilt, and or like overlap hands with Davros and try to shove the cane sword down to give to stop the wriggling, which would then allow Vert hopefully a huge bonus to getting out of it.
So there is a assist feature in 5e. So you can take your action to assist another character in doing something, giving them advantage.
Perfect. That sounds great. So you grabbing it, I will say, don't roll anything by virtue of you grabbing it. Burke will get advantage on whatever he attempts to do to this thing. Be it plunge the sword deeper or get out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like instead of giving bonuses in 5e, what you're giving him is instead of giving him a plus whatever.
He gets to roll 2 d20s and pick the highest instead.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Okay. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you grab the hilt, assisting Verk. Verk, it's now your turn. You have advantage on whether you're trying to get out or pin this thing to the ground.
So I'm going to stand up, and I'm assuming both of them are just holding the hilt.
Well, you can't stand up because it's got one of your.
Okay,
you
well,
can
I
sit
guess.
up.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And just almost ignoring that they're even there, just put my hands over top of whatever they have holding onto hilt and just drive it down.
Okay. Roll me strength with advantage.
Let's see. $21.
Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So that is 11 points over 10. It is, you drive it like up to the hilt. The hilt is now buried into this thing, to the ground. You hear her scream out in pain. This like mournful, pleading scream. You monster. And her jaws open up, and you're just as she's writhing, and so your foot is freed. However, this is important. You are now a bad person. Top. Yeah. Well, listen, man. Top of the round is
Davros.
Davros. And right as get yourself free and you pin it down, you guys hear from a little bit closer now from the southeastern woods. They're over there. I heard the scream of an authoritative man speaking to someone else.
You bit me, as I reply to her.
She says, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm just so hungry and cold. I didn't mean it. Please, I didn't mean it.
I'm gonna probably over her as she's talking. I'm going to be saying, "Verk, shush! Someone's."
Verk, do you stop talking?
Just reply, where?
What?
I'll point in the direction.
You hear a different voice respond affirmative to the person they were talking.
I'll wait the rest of my turn out.
It's top of the round, Davros. It's you.
Boy, I am going to. Oof. I'm going to hold my action.
Okay.
Mainly for the point of waiting to see if I can. Can I see? Because I know you said it was a light there before. Can I see what they are at this point? Are they close?
Not close enough, but you can hear voices in a language you do understand. And actually, I don't know that you would. Well, this is one of those weird things about role-playing games. There's a lot of situations where it doesn't make any sense that you'd have a shared language with something, but not having that just unnecessarily complicates things. So I have no problem just assuming. So, yeah, you hear what sounds like more or less human voices, but you don't know quite what they are or exactly how many of them. You have heard two different voices. There are at least two of them so far.
Do they sound like the battle angel that died earlier? Like, is it in the same kind of tone as him?
Nope.
Same kind of language or anything like that?
It is the same language, but it is not the same tone. It doesn't sound like they're coming over to help you.
And the device isn't doing anything else yet?
It is still locating navigation options in the grid.
Okay, then I'm just I'm gonna just tell guys, stay very close to me and don't make a.
All right. It gets to Brianna's turn. She is screaming, but only you can hear her. Actually, no, sorry. At this point, all of you hear this scream. She breaks a telepathic link, Verk, and you all hear this sonic scream. Everybody roll a will save, or a wisdom save. It'll take me forever. I'm rolling like a monster today. It's great. Frats, you make it. Bill, you make it. And Kurt, you sure don't. Kurt,
quick question: would I have recovered my hit points
from
over the 2
the
days?
yeah. I didn't expend wounds and vigor. We'll do the next session. Not a big deal. So yeah, you take 5 damage. Bill and Frats, you take 0 damage.
You did heal, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you take 5 now. That second extreme just almost knocks you off your feet. It's incredible pain. And now she switches to sputtering curses in some abyssal tone.
That we can
Still
all
with a soft feminine voice, but now she's screaming expletives.
that we can all hear.
Oh yeah. There is a crackle as if of static, and then you hear the other voice from the southeast saying, "The well, sir," as if they know exactly where it's coming from.
As if they know where the scream is coming from.
Correct. It is now your turn.
And how much am I perceiving of the party from the southeast?
Just like you haven't seen enough. There's not like close enough or enough light to know what they are. You just know that they're coming closer and can hear their voices.
And I said to stay close and be quiet.
And Verk is now free of her grasp, right?
Correct.
Kurt, you just logged off the.
I know. My middle mouse button cancels windows.
Oh god, that's annoying. Yeah.
That seems
An ill-placed
bind.
It's just the base one for it.
Ew.
It was like when I'm hovering over the tab in Chrome and I press my middle mouse button, which is my mic cue, it'll cancel the window out.
Oh, I got you. Jonas would like to propose a plan to the 2 members of the party. Jonas says, let's free her and leave the 2 let's free her, hide, and leave the 2 to find each other. She's hungry, and they're obviously looking for something violent.
But if we move from this spot, we may not be able to get out of this place.
A conundrum.
That's
Does anyone have anything they can throw over towards in a different direction from?
In a different direction from the blood-curdling psycho scream?
Yes.
There's bones on the ground we can toss to the woods.
Gonna use my held action to pick up one of the bones and chuck it.
You can.
And I'll try and actually hit the. They're coming from the southeast.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to try and throw it over the mansion, like on top of the mansion. I know that, like you said, the roof caved in, but like something in that direction.
Okay. Roll me strength. I'll give you 5 feet for every point over 10. Sorry, okay. You'll. Well, I got it. The numbers are a lot lower in 5e. Let me give me a second to think. I'll let you throw it DC 10, 20 feet, and plus 5 feet for every point beyond that.
Oh, strength check.
That's not a that's a save. That's not a strength check.
I mean, it's if anything, a save is higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to re-roll it. That's all.
That's true. That's fair.
I
I'll
thought
say
it was
you
going to
throw
be a
it.
dex check. That's why I did. That's why I did
Yeah.
it.
Well, Dex is accuracy. You're going for sheer range.
I know. I was just thinking along the terms of for attacking
Yeah.
with a ranged weapon or a throwing weapon, you can use. That's what I was thinking.
That's true. What's your throwing range for a dagger?
20
Oops.
is accurately, 60 is max range.
Okay. I'll give you the 20 feet.
Okay.
You throw this as far as you could throw a dagger accurately, and then it lands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry. 5, 10, 15, 12. Okay, so it lands in the bushes 4 squares away.
Right next to us.
Yeah. Great. They continue heading over. Now you begin to see. Can I click that? You begin to. So there's a little bit of light from the campfire, and there's just a crack in the wall by the fireplace, just enough you can see something moving. And you see this figure just about. Actually, I'm looking on Fratz's. There you go. So you see this figure just enter the dim outline of the light. You guys can see that, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the campfire light.
Yes.
There's like a dim
I
person.
had that covered up by my thing. Hold
Yeah.
on. Yes.
In addition, you hear footsteps approaching your location as well,
From what direction?
from the southeast.
Do I see anything through dark vision?
No. If anything is out there, it is behind cover.
I think we all have dark vision just for the purposes of.
Are you guys all elves or half elves?
Orc,
Or no, orc. Half elf,
half elf,
half
half
orc.
elf. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys all have
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter because you can see the trees, but whatever they are is behind them.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Is it Ratchet's turn still, or is it mine?
It's
It's yours. No one seemed. Well, Davros doesn't seem to like Fratz's plan, or doesn't seem to like Jonas's plan.
Well, I'm not saying we run away like Miles. I'm suggesting we like hide in shrubbery and worm bushes and wait for them to find the well and see what they're going to do with the well.
This is the spot where this thing activated. We are not moving.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
You can if you want to stay here forever.
I'll tell Rats to get behind me.
yeah, that works.
Okay. Then you hear the device say, well, okay. It says navigation point 1 located. Hold for identification.
We're holding.
Out of the bushes, just at the edge of the light here. See if you guys can see this screen. Not bear with me.
Oh, there we go. See it to our south.
Yeah, there's a dim figure in the shadow. He is covered in small red lights around the head area. And is holding a device you
Dude,
don't quite understand.
Ice, well,
And you see
Ice Wello
he's clothed
come
head to toe in black.
Welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for
He
thanks for
says-
throwing me a biddy.
You hear a
I
crackle
appreciate it.
and a muffled voice, and he says, "They're all here."
Dan, I'm terribly sorry. We got our first bit of the session.
Oh, fantastic!
Ice Wello come to. I don't.
Well, thank you. Ice Wello come to.
Cheer for cheers.
I feel like it's a bad name. Like we're not supposed to be saying it out loud, but
Oh,
I can't.
Like if you say it out loud.
But I can't figure it out. Like it's not
Well, this
like
is terrible timing because we're approaching end of session time, and I've got to bounce. But let's finish
Yes.
up this round.
yeah, absolutely.
So Davros, it's your turn. This masked figure has just made some kind of harsh, staticky noise. Not that your character's ever heard static before. And said to this nameless somebody that all of them are here. So it knows how many you are, it seems, upon seeing the three of you.
Oh, so I'm so.
Trying to stall. I'll say, "Oh, it's about time you showed up. We are stuck."
You cut out there. Were you saying starving?
Yeah, starving.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah, because I'm just trying to stall.
Okay. Brianna's turn. She screams out again. Everybody go ahead and roll me another wisdom save.
I feel like I should have taken her.
Oh, no.
I feel like I should have taken the thing out. You said wisdom save, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Frats, you got it. Kurt, goddamn. And Bill, you got it. Okay, wow. Frats, or Kurt, you need to step your game up here.
Yeah.
So you guys take no damage. Kurt, you take 4. I'm rolling great today. As the scream lashes out at you, and at that point, right before Jonas, it's your turn. You see another figure just barely step to the edge of the shadows. Can you guys see that on your screen yet?
Yep.
Okay. This other figure radios and says, confirmed, to what must be a third person. Jonas, it's your turn.
I don't see the third character.
There isn't one. You only see 2, but they're talking to what is presumably a third.
Oh,
Is the one over by the
Oh,
campfire still there?
Sorry, yeah, he is. Oh, sorry, he has moved. He is now 2 here. This figure is here.
So at this point, I would say something stupid like, "Oh, stop your bloody screaming," and I would pull the cane sword out to ready it for my own. Oh yeah, now there's 3 figures.
Okay.
I would ready the cane sword for the potential next unknown entities in the area.
The Brianna screeches and immediately recoils and slithers back down the well, the stones crumbling down around her, the well now completely falling in and revealing itself to be this barely held up ramshackle construction of rotted stone and rotted wood. And you can feel a rumbling in the ground beneath you.
Oh good. Oh good.
You can still hear the screaming, but it doesn't. It's like this. The screaming is coming through the ground, so it's muffled. It doesn't hurt. It's just annoying. It is now Verk's turn.
Let's see here. Trying to think what the. He'll just kind of grumble to himself about her biting him, and she kind of got what she deserved.
She bit me.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Again, I'll motion toward what's his name, Jonas.
Okay.
To get behind me again.
You can see your face in the stream. Top of the round, Davros, you hear a clicking sound and a sound of machinery being moved. This figure over here steps out, and you are now see. Should be just on the edge. Your periphery.
Yeah, I can barely see him on the there.
Yeah. So there are 3 figures now having you surrounded. The device says navigation point 1 locked. Kurt, want to go ahead and roll me a d10? Navigation point gravesite located, world of constellations. Would you like to hold for additional navigation points?
No.
You hear the figure on the path say, "Of course they have." And just, you can barely make out this man is uncovered, and he smiles. He's nondescript human male. You can't make out much more than that. The device says, "Please confirm selection, world of constellations."
Confirm.
You just like mashing the little knob there.
Yeah.
It clicks, it
Yes.
activates, you drop it on the ground. The light shatters out. Right as the light begins to crack the ground, you hear the click and you hear a loud bang. And a flash of fire come from the barrel of the device of both of the men to yourself. The man on the footpath says, "Shoot to kill." And gentlemen, it is 11:08. We will end the session there and reconvene next week.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
What
Yay!
did we do for session 0?
Oh, you guys did great. You guys did great. But keep that little Brianna thing as a reminder. Like the
Yeah.
work together, plan things out, can have a lot of fun role play, like jokey banter. But at the end of the day, your antagonists will work together. So you're going to need to do the same thing if you're going to try to stand toe to toe with them. Before my wife gets any more upset at me, I'm going to go. Great session, guys, and I will catch you all on Discord.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you
you.
so much, man.
Take care.
I don't know if anybody wants to decompress after that, but let me part the
Yes, I need to.
yeah. Let me part the stream and let everybody know we're closing down, and then I'll be back on in a sec. So hey, anybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Ice Wello come to. I don't know if I'm. It's just one of those words. It's just one of those names, man. That I don't know if I'm maybe saying it wrong or whatever, but it looks like it's one of those, like it's constructed to be, you know, something stupid for the streamer to say out loud. So I'm not sure if I'm reading too far into it or whatever, but I don't want to be the streamer that reads bad stuff. But I don't know what it like. Read it out loud or type what it's supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway, thank you anybody who tuned in. Appreciate it. We had a couple people. We had a couple people show up. And this was session. I don't know what it's. I honestly don't. I swear to God, guys. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. This was session maybe 0, we'll call it, but definitely episode 1 of D&D on this channel. Dan is a wonderful. Session 0.5. Dan is a really good dungeon master, game master, whatever you want to call it. Is creating some really descriptive worlds for us to explore. We have 3 people in the party this time around. We will look to try to get some guys involved in if this becomes successful and something that's fun to do, and we get a little bit of an audience. I think I'd like to keep doing this on the regular. So Thursday nights or change up the schedule for other people to join in, what have you. But I really like this version of storytelling. It's a lot of fun. The collaborative working together with somebody else, somebody controlling the antagonists versus you controlling the heroes and the protagonist. It's a lot of fun. So appreciate all the support and everything. We will be back for D&D next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, just like we were here this week. I will work with Kurt and Bill and Dan. I think during the week we will come up with a way to maybe record or maybe even if it's just text, like write up a summary of what happened in the previous session, so that we could post it so people could actually follow along what's going on in the journey, almost like journal entries, but the party only needs one and hopefully a paragraph or two tops, but just like a quick recap of what's going on. So if somebody tunes in, God, that is loud in my ear. If somebody tunes in at 8:05 or 8:10 and they kind of miss if we do a recap, they'll be able to actually read through it and see what's going on with our characters. So it'll be pretty cool. I know that'll make more sense, or that'll be more important for a longer campaign, but for a first run, and I think a first session, outside of learning some of the mechanics of the Roll20 interface here, I think all three of us are really interested in what's going on. And Dan, like I said, is painting a picture of a really cool world for us to explore, a really cool universe, if you will, with multiple worlds, etc. So thank you so much. I will see you guys hopefully later this week with maybe some other Fortnite gameplay or some other Rocket League gameplay. I know Kurt here is not just playing D&D. He's actually streaming himself with some RPG gameplay, and maybe someday play duo Rocket League with me on stream. We'll see. And otherwise, again, thank you. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to know anything more. Feel free to message me. On the Discord here, I have the link in the profile and everything. And hopefully we will see you at the latest next week for the next D&D. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
Welcome everybody. Currently playing some Divinity Original Sin 1 on Tactician mode. If you would like to stay and join us, my name is Muckluck. I will be your humble host. Just finished D&D session 1. Oh yeah, how did it go? Has anybody pulled any pain in the butt techniques out that made the Dungeon Master facepalm yet? Those are my favorite.
Halt! You shall not tread upon this
Hey Courteous,
road.
thanks buddy. Let's see. Why do you refuse me passage?
Has rot taken your ears? I say this is an immaculate road. Only those blessed.
All right, I'm back. So 3 hours in, what do we think?
Oh, I love it.
I
That was a lot of. I wasn't expecting that out of the worm selection. I'm happy we got that one out of the way first.
So I helped Dan come up with that mechanic for one of his bigger campaigns after I played his first after I played the campaign that I played with him. He basically, just like every DM, you start off with like this super huge grand idea, and his super huge grand campaign, he tried to get off the ground a couple times. Dude, we play 8 to 11 p.m. EST. Sorry, bro. I'll be on later this week. So he, over the 14 years or 16 years he said he's been doing all this. What was it? He was shaping this huge world, and tried to get a couple large campaigns off the ground, and one or two of them were pretty successful. So this very last one he tried to do was supposed to be the one that ended his universe. Wait, what?
Maybe
I revoked my host. What the fuck? Oh shit. I didn't revoke my host.